there. How about now? Testing. Testing. That should fix the problem. All right, call me back. Testing. Let me know. Y'all hear me? Y'all with me now? Let me know. You should hear music. You should hear me. Testing. 1 2 1 2. Testing. 1 2 1 2. Testing. All right, she ain't called back, so I'm assuming. Actually, I don't want to assume. So let me try one more. Wait, here she go. Yo. Oh, I am good. Cool. All right. Thank you. I really appreciate that because I'd have been talking for about an hour. All right. Yeah, I usually do when I'm paying attention to it. So I just happen to be looking. I saw her look down. All right. Yeah. All right. Let me get going then. Thank you. All right, y'all. Let's start it over again. It's your boy, the Ben Israel, the People's Champ, aka Chef V, aka V Corleone, aka Pumpkin Escobar. I apologize. Still trying to build this thing as I go. So I'm still figuring out this microphone thing. It's a little tricky sometimes because of the way StreamYard is. So I apologize, but I'm live now. Y'all can hear me. And today is May 8th, 2022. And hope everybody's having a good day. Shalom, Israel. You didn't hear me say that earlier. Shalom, black people. I was in the middle of my disclaimer when I got that call. So if you don't want to be here, don't be here. Move around. Plenty of places to be out here in these social media streets. Keep it moving. I'm going to do live callers at some point. I'll post a link in the comments. At some point, anybody who wants to go live with me on today's topic or some other topic. I mean, I'll take open topics today as well, since I haven't really been frequent. Bring the smoke. Y'all want to have smoke with me? Bring that too. I got something for that. But let's make sure when you do call in, we're being disrespectful or not being disrespectful. I really don't care if I see you live. I don't have to see your image. So when I put the link in and you click the link, you can turn your camera off. But just make sure we can hear you. You got good audio and you don't have a lot of background noise. But you come to my space. Come genuinely. It's because you want to know something. Not because you think you about to teach something to me. I've been doing this too long. I've been on social media since the beginning. For those of you who don't know, I go all the way back to GeoCities in the 90s. Been doing this a long time, okay? In its many various forms, including its current form now. So I've been around. A lot of people don't understand how much work us content creators actually put in behind the scenes to do what we do. And that's a lot of research. That's a lot of studying for some of us. We just don't get on here arbitrarily and just ramble and speak opinions off the top of our head. A lot of us actually do a lot of fact finding and have a keen understanding of the various topics that we talk about. I only debate my equals. Everybody else I teach, a wise man once said. And I'm of that same philosophy. Some of y'all try to come at me, you're not my equal. You may think you, because you got a little opinion and you just learned something within the last couple of years. I've been studying some of these topics all my life. I'm well versed in them. I got books piled up on topics. And if you take some time to get to know who you're speaking to, just look at my videos. I got thousands of hours. I told somebody today, I got thousands of hours of video on social media. Before I started doing videos, I had hundreds of posts. Before that, I got 2 books published, one of which is on Amazon right now. These topics I've been doing decades. Decades I've been talking about these things, and I've been very consistent over the years on these different topics that I tend to talk about. Things I don't talk about is because I really don't know about. I stay away from things I don't have an expertise in. I also told somebody today. But I'm of the mindset of Tommy Sotomayor in that respect. I hate ninjas. That's not the word he would use, but I'm going to be polite. I hate some of y'all ninjas because y'all just talk and ramble. You don't know what the hell you talking about. And like the late, great Paul Mooney said, he blames Oprah for that. Oprah's the one that made everybody think their opinion matters. You're entitled to have an opinion, but once you start sharing your opinion, you're responsible for it, and it's subject to be challenged. So you bring your citations when you come to me. Have your ducks in a row, or genuinely ask a question. Don't hide your insults behind questions. Be a man with yours. Be a grown woman with yours. You want to be genuine with me? I'm going to be genuine with you. I've said this before, but in light of current events, I felt the need to really emphasize my disclaimer. Normally, I don't make my disclaimer this long, but I just want to be clear on what's up and who y'all talking to. You talking to the People's Champ. I'm here for y'all, man. I'm not here fighting against y'all. I'm here because I want us to do better. I want us to be better. I want men to be better. I want women to be better. So that way we can make these children better. We not there. We aren't better. We are worse than what we were before. Contrary to what popular spaces want you to believe. Contrary to what the politicians want you to believe. Contrary to what entertainers want you to believe. There are no demographic categories that suggest that over the last 50 years we have progressed. All of those categories are worse. The ones that matter. They all are worse. I got my Coke, y'all, so I'm going to stay hydrated. I just ain't going to be drinking liquor today. Those of you who claim I don't drink, y'all. Somebody told me at a cookout this past weekend, y'all never see you drinking. Well, here you go. I like to drink at home. I don't like being out in public drinking. And when I drink, it's typically Hennessy. This bottle, how old is this bottle, Ashley? About 3 years now. When did we buy this bottle? We went down to Frugal McDougal. That wasn't last year. This got to be at least 2-3 years old, and I'm just not getting to the end of it. Holla at my sister, y'all. She on here. I live my life for the public, man. I'm not one of those people who pretend to be something on social media that I'm not. I am who I am. I'm out here amongst the people. Wherever I'm at. I'm not one of them dudes that got a studio set up in their basement. I ain't even got no studio on. I'm on the couch. You know, I'm not in some basement in some dark corner just making up stuff. I go out amongst the people and I talk to real people every day. Every day. And I talk to people from different generations. I don't like to just talk to Generation X people, or I talk to the young people, the millennials, the Zoomers, the baby boomers, the silent generation, those of those people who are still left. I love talking to them. I was raised by people from different generations. So my perspective is sometimes a little bit different from some of y'all's. But today, we're going to talk about The Godfather. We're going to talk about Kevin Samuels. And I want to come at this a different way than I've seen other people talk about him in remembrance of him. I have a different perspective on Kevin than most. And some people had very good things to say on him. Dennis Sperling has posted a couple of great videos on him. Some of the other content creators that he knew personally have said some things. The lead attorney, Obsidian, Donovan Sharp, some of those guys actually speak with him frequently. I have never spoken with the man. But I think I understand the man in a way that some of those guys don't understand, because none of those guys were salesmen. They weren't salesmen. And the way I saw Kevin Samuels is that, and a lot of, which is what caused me to identify with him on a lot of levels, because we come from the same cloth, and we both made our bones as being top salesmen. And when I say salesman, I'm not talking about just some regular guy had a job one summer selling cars or whatever sales that they did. I'm talking about men who spent a decade or more being a top salesman in a sales environment. Those are who I'm speaking to, and that's a rare breed. Every salesman ain't a top salesman. Okay. I grew up around a top salesman. My stepfather was a top salesman for most of my life. He sold men's clothes, high-end men's clothing, which is also why I relate to Kevin with the clothing aspect, because a lot of the things that Kevin thought, my stepfather, Arthur Lewis, thought. So like I talked to him yesterday, a long conversation with him, and I want to make sure I give him his flowers while he's still here. Because my Uncle Cameron is no longer here. He died early on in COVID. He was also a top salesman in the men's clothing game. So I always had an appreciation for those guys, and I learned a lot from them, even when I didn't want to be a salesman. I kind of woke up one day and found out, oh shit, I'm a salesman, because I had been hearing my stepfather and my uncle in my ear all of my life telling me certain things. And a lot of their thoughts came from being top salesmen. Men who are top salesmen, they work at their craft. And Dennis Sperling made me think about this, because it was something that he was surprised about Kevin, how astute he was and how well studied he was. And well, top salesmen often are. We call that product knowledge, and we like to know our product and we like to know our audience. So we do a lot. We have a lot of downtime as salesmen. So we study those things. I can't tell you how many sales books I've read in my lifetime, and the greats, the Zig Ziglars and things, those guys who were historical top salesmen. Put it in perspective. I met a young man down in Charleston. He's I believe he's selling cars. And I was sharing some of my experience when I was a young man selling cars. And I told him at one point, I was selling 50 cars a month and I never went outside. And his eyes opened like, whoa. I might need to listen to this man. I could tell he kind of sat up in his chair like I said something he hadn't heard before. Because, see, the average salesman in this country sells less than 10 cars in a month. Right now, it's probably less than that. It's probably 5. So you're only selling 5 cars in a month's time period. You got a lot of downtime. I was selling 50 cars on average a month and never went outside. And I told him how I did it, and I gave him some wisdom. And he knew, based on what I was saying, this guy knows what he's talking about. he had an appreciation. It was a short conversation, but I could tell by his reaction. And that's what Dennis Sperling kind of reminded me of, what his reaction to Kevin was. You know, we teach things differently as well. And salesmen, we kind of teach almost in parables, or I guess in parables and similitudes. We do it through, we're not going to directly come out all the time and say, you need to do X, Y, and Z. We're going to present a scenario or a story and see what you get from it, to try to see if you pick up on a lesson that's in what we're saying. And that's what Dennis Sperling was sharing with us about his friend Kevin Samuels, that he wished he had not been as hard-headed, and he wished he had more time to learn more. But just in that short period of time, he learned more from this man than he thought he did. He's thinking about it now, like, damn, I didn't even realize this man was schooling me when he was. Top salesmen are a different breed. We made different. And we're definitely alpha males. Top salesmen are going to be alphas, not betas. They're going to be sexually confident people, whether they're men or women, because I've seen top salesmen who were women, and they also had the same characteristics. And there are books written on this topic, the characteristics of top salespeople. And if you have in today's world, we don't appreciate salesmen. We just think all salesmen are salesmen, snake oil salesmen. Us real salesmen look down on those kind of people because they make us look bad. They don't respect the craft. Real salesmen, people tend to stick with that person. I know when I was selling cell phones in the early 2000s, there was a young man named Sam. He was a high performing salesman, but he wasn't what I would consider a top salesman at that time. Sam was good. He had the potential, but he was rough around the edges. And my district manager didn't like me, Pete Vargos. I think Pete's on my Facebook now. Pete, I know you didn't like me. But anyway. But Pete would put me in situations almost to try to humble me or belittle me. For example, he put me in a store one time where half of the customers spoke Spanish or Portuguese. I still ended up being the number one salesman. Then he puts me in a store where 90% of the customers and other workers spoke Spanish or Portuguese. I still ended up being the number one salesman there too. Then he puts me in Newark on Broad Street. I was covering for another manager. That manager's store numbers went up while he was on vacation while I was running his store. Pete couldn't figure it out. How everywhere I put this guy to make him fail, he succeeds. Then he put me out on Route 22. And he wanted me and Sam to compete against each other. Sam was a regular salesman. I was an assistant store manager. He wasn't my competition. I didn't look at Sam as my competition. Again, like I said, I don't argue or debate people who are not my equals. Sam wasn't my equal. I looked at Sam as a student that I needed to teach. And I had met Sam a couple times before that. And, we were cordial with each other. So Sam reached out to me when he heard I was getting transferred to his store. Little did Pete know this happened. So Sam and I had got together, went out and had wings somewhere or some bar, I think, that served wings. And Sam was a smart guy. He says, they're trying to make us fight each other, right? They want us to go against each other. I said, I'm surprised that you picked up on that. And he says, no, I want to learn from you. I said, wow, okay. I said, well, Sam, I said, what do you want to learn? He says, well, what I noticed about you is you're always going to bouncing around to other stores. That's the job of an assistant manager. We cover gaps in other stores. Managers go out on vacation or need an extra day off. The assistant managers, we float between stores. But my numbers was always high. Sam wanted to know how that was. How did you maintain your numbers even though you weren't selling in your store? And I said, well, Sam, I'm a salesman. He says, well, we are salesmen, aren't we? No, we're not. You're a cashier. I'm a salesman. He didn't understand what I meant. I said, well, Sam, when people walk in, typically, you want to get to the high value. You want to sell them a high-end product, a cell phone, a satellite, a computer, home theater, and you don't really care if they're not buying one of those products from you. You're a cashier. You just want to help them for what they came in for and get them out the store quickly so you can move on to somebody who wants to buy what you want to sell. I, on the other hand, I treat every customer the same way. And I give every customer world-class service, whether they're coming in buying a watch battery, a cordless phone battery, a cell phone, a satellite, a computer, no matter a fuse for some little project that they're working on, whatever they're coming in for, I'm going to give them the same world-class service. And people remember me. So that person who came in and bought a pack of batteries once, and I treated him with world-class service, gave him my business card. I told him, hey, essentially, I said, I'm your guy. Whatever you need in the future, here's my personal number. Call me. I can save you a trip. And people remember that. Because, see, salesmen understand the law of 250, right? The law of 250 basically means if you have a bad experience, you're going to tell at least 10 people about your bad experience. But if you had a good experience, you may not tell anybody, or you may only tell one person. So the odds are already against you. So you want to reduce the amount of bad experiences a person has with you. And you want to increase your good experiences so that word of mouth could spread. So here's the logic. How you get to 250? I tell somebody I had a bad experience. I tell somebody 10 people. Those 10 people are going to tell 10 other people. Those 10 people and so on until we get all the way up to 250. So that one bad experience, 250 people got a bad experience because of that one bad experience. So I wanted to reduce those. I wanted to make sure people had good experiences with me no matter what they were buying. This is the image that Kevin Samuels was trying to teach black men. That image. And what Dennis Sperling said is Kevin Samuels was focused on, we're going to win the battle of the image and the emotions, or something he said to that effect. Dennis Sperling, being a lawyer, didn't understand. He says, I understand the image, but I don't understand the emotion. Well, Dennis, the emotion is the bad experience and the good experience. So you want people to have a quote unquote feel good experience when they come across black men and black people. That's not the case today. As the Bible tells us, one of the curses that was put on us, we would be known as a byword and a proverb. That's what the Bible says. That's in Deuteronomy somewhere. What does that mean? We used to be the most respected people on the planet. But because of the curse that was put on us, because we broke the laws, this curse was put on us that we would be known as a byword. That's something other than your name. Nigga, Negro, no, something other than your God-given name. We'd be more specific. You're a Negro, you're a nigger, you're African American, you're Afro American, you're a Moor. All of these names throughout history, other than our God-given names. Okay, that's the byword. The proverb is the wise. A proverb is a wise saying. So, and I've talked about this before, but I'm going to re-emphasize this. If you watch me, take a minute, man. Pour some out for the Godfather. Let's focus. I've been saying to some of the other content creators lately, let's focus on the 80 to 90% of things that we agree on, and not the 10 to 20% of things we don't agree on. Let's focus on that. Let's leave that other stuff out. It's not even worth mentioning. That's also something Kevin Samuels believed in. He didn't beef with people. He thought it was a waste of time. You could be educating yourself on getting more product knowledge, quote unquote, instead of beefing with people. That man took the higher road. You also see Kevin Hart is a good example of somebody who really doesn't get into that beef space very often. He prefers to take the higher road. Okay? So, I'm getting off on a tangent, as I tend to do. The emotion again that we create is in these proverbs, how other people view us, these wise sayings that apply to us. For example, in these proverbs, these wise sayings aren't good things, right? They're curses. Remember that. If you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a what? What do you do if you want to hide something from a nigga? I'm quoting. Finish the quote. And y'all in your head should be saying the answer, because we all know the answer. If you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book. How do we all know that? It's a proverb. Worldwide, everybody knows that. Right? This is why protecting our image is so important. Right? Black men are unintelligent. We're not good fathers. We don't, all of these proverbs that have been created over these tropes, I'm going to call them, over the last 50 years and beyond. Some of them go beyond that. They just don't hold weight. They don't stand up historically. And even in today's world, they're just not true. They're not true things when you look at the facts. And people who don't like facts and reality, they say things like, my truth. There's no such thing as my truth or your truth. Truth is truth. Fact is fact. Period. We can't operate on different software. We're operating on the same software, the same set of facts. Gravity affects us all evenly on this planet. I had a woman one time, and I've told this story before to people. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on video, but I was trying to explain this concept to her. And her feministic way of thinking, that need to be right, that sign language was so strong in her. And we were sitting on a balcony, and I said, if you go off this balcony, will you hit the ground? This woman argued me up and down for an hour. for an hour. Is this not common sense, people? Is this not logic? If you jump off of a one-story platform, are you going to hit the ground? Now, don't go into the bullshit, stupid some of y'all stuff want to do. Y'all want to bring facts into what I just said that ain't been introduced. Well, if there's a soft platform down there, she ain't gonna hit the ground. Or what if she lands on a car? And did I say any of that? Do you know? I'm telling you, if you jump off this platform, what's below us is the ground, nothing else. Do I have to be that specific for you to understand the point? That's why Tommy says I hate ninjas all the time, because y'all do that ignorant shit. And you do that to stop the conversation from moving forward. We all understand if you jump off of a platform and there's nothing between you and the ground, you're going to hit the fucking ground. Right? We get that, right? We don't have to go no further. We don't have to make that an hour-long debate, do we? And this is a grown woman. This is a baby boomer who I was having that conversation with. And it's indicative of the thought process. And I'm saying to myself, I see why you've never been married. I see why you've never had any success with a long-term relationship. I see it now. Very sweet person, very nice person. Wasn't ratchet, wasn't rude, wasn't disrespectful. But this way of thinking will aggravate the shit out of a man. This illogical, emotional, my truth bullshit. Okay? That kind of stuff, more so than your weight. More so than how you look, because she was gorgeous. Even at her age, she was a gorgeous woman. Great body. In her 50s. Despite of all of that, she never had a long-term relationship with a man, not even a year. I've known this person almost all my life. I know him well. And I couldn't understand what was the problem. And that day it became very clear. Men, the last thing men want to do is argue and debate foolishness with a woman. We out here in the world fighting the world. And we got to come home to some foolish shit like that. We got to have a 2-hour conversation on gravity, how gravity works. Come on. That's one conversation. Could you imagine trying to spend a year with a woman like that? 5 years, 10 years? Well, guess what? Neither can any of the other men. That's why it ain't never happened. But that's the emotional shit that we got to win the battle on, that Kevin was telling Dennis, that Dennis didn't understand. The emotions that we invoke from other people. And that's linked to our image, our branding. And for example, I'll give you another one. If I say a particular group of people are known to be loud and stubborn, who is that people? Who is that group of people I'm talking about? Worldwide, on the whole planet, there's one group of people who's known to be loud and stubborn. Who am I talking about? I'm not going to say the answer. Y'all know who I'm talking about. That's the byword and the proverb. And that's what Kevin Samuels was trying to teach Dennis Sperling about. We have to do something about that. We have to fight against that. We have to take, particularly with men, take back your image. Okay, we understand that people have been saying these things about us. What are you doing about it? What work are you putting in? Are you doing the best you can to fight against that image? No, a lot of y'all ignorant ass niggas go, it don't apply to me. It don't affect me. And why should I worry about it? I got that response when I did a video on the Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. I said, this ain't about one-on-one. This is about Will Smith attacking the black male image. No, I don't see it the way, dog. Hey, man, that ain't got nothing to do with me. It got everything to do with you if you understand the bigger picture, but a lot of them don't. But as salesmen, we study a lot of different things. And again, I'm being very general when I say product knowledge. But we study psychology, we study body language, we study philosophy, we study a range of topics to make us better salesmen, better able to be an expert on human behavior and human personality. Salesmen and top salesmen are very good at reading people. We make a living on it. Now, women, let me tell y'all this because this is what y'all do. Well, if you ain't right 100% of the time. That's what y'all always go to the far extremes. Let me address that. This ain't about 100%. Okay? A C is passing. So if I do it 70% of the time, I get a passing grade. If I do it 80% of the time, I'm pretty good at it. I got solid B. So a C and a B are both less than an A, but they're still passing. So stop looking for a man to be flawless and never make a mistake. And that's the standard that you hold men to. But you don't hold yourselves to that same standard, which I find very funny, right? So let's take the black community, for example, over the last 50 years, because I don't want to do what Tim Black did, and we're going to go back to slavery, Johnson, and we hear Johnson and all that foolishness. You ain't got to go back to slavery. Let's start the last 50 years. Let's start there. Because see, everybody who always make that historical trauma from slavery argument, they tend to skip over Reconstruction, that 100-year period after slavery, 1865 to 1965. They skip over that period because that period contradicts their whole argument. If black women and men got all these traumas from slavery, which are affecting us today and preventing us from being together, functioning today, how do you explain Reconstruction? Well, we had it together for 100 years. They can't. That's why those arguments are null and void. Moving on. So we're going to start in the 70s, right? Let's start just right there in the 70s. Because most of our current problems can be traced back 50 years. Most of them. Okay? We got to start there. What happened in the 70s? What changed? And we got to address those things that we did wrong. See, some people want to challenge that argument as well with y'all saying we should go back to the 50s and do this and do it. Nobody said that. We're saying let's look at what we were doing when things were working, and let's emulate those things where we had successes, because we had failures during Reconstruction too. Let's learn from our mistakes. As the Bible says, the things written before time are for today's learning, paraphrasing it. So let's learn from our mistakes and our successes, instead of just making more mistakes over and over and over again, sometimes the same mistake. Let's stop doing that, right? I'm monologuing, y'all. I know it. I'm monologuing. I got bars right now, so just rock with me. I'm going to take a break, soon, and then when I come back from break, I'm gonna put the live link. Whoever wants to talk, you want to just say something about Kevin Samuels. I'm not looking for anybody to attack this dead man. So if you don't have any nice things to say, don't call in. But if you just want to say, hey, I'm sorry, I want to give him my condolences, or I want to give condolences to his family, do it. Okay, that's all I'm looking for. Or if you got a story how you got something from what the man was doing, because this man was a machine. Understand, to get to this level, okay, being, and I'm not going to call it what he called it for the sake of this conversation. I'm going to call it to be a high quality man, okay? I'm going to take the finances out of it. But being a high quality man, to get there, you got to put in work. You just don't wake up that way. You got to do some shit. And you got to put some work in. A lot of work to get there. That's one thing I think Kevin gave us, or gave you black women. The rankings, right? Why are they important? That was a question he often asked. Why is this important? Why does this matter? The rankings matter, right? And I'm going to flip it on men. We already know what he thought about women. I'm not talking about how he ranked women. Let's talk about ranking men, which a lot of you women struggle with. Y'all just want to all put us all in the same basket, right? And this is part of the reason why y'all have problems with men, because you want to treat a higher quality man the same way you treated a low quality man. Actually, sometimes you treated the low quality man better. Where do y'all get that from? So let's rank men, shall we? Something I really never heard Kevin did. I could be wrong. I watch a lot of his content, but so a high value man, as he puts it, would be an 8, 9, or a 10, right? Follow me. High quality men, there is no 7. High quality men are 8s, not high value men are 8s, 9s, and 10s. According to Kevin Samuels, and he doesn't take credit for inventing this, but he pushed it forward. So according to Kevin Samuels, to be a high value man, you have to make a minimum of $10,000 a month over at least a 5-year period, just to be even considered high value. You also have to have a network of other high value men who consider you their peer. Those are 2 things, right? Just based on those 2 things, those 2 criteria right there, most of these niggas who think, and women who you think your man is high value, they don't even qualify. Because we know right there, just focusing on number 2 points. We know only 10% of men, not black men, 10% of men make $100,000 a year or more. Only 10%. All right. So let's put that in perspective, ladies. There are 21 million, roughly 21 million black men in this country. Let's just use 10%. It's really like 6% for black men, but let's just use 10%. What is 10% of 21 million? Roughly 200,000, right? So we're talking about there's only 200,000 less than 200,000 black men in this country who could even be considered high value. We exclude the entertainers. We exclude the rappers, the comedians, the actors, the athletes. They don't count. They make their money differently. They don't count. So of those men who are left, there's only like 200,000. We know most of those men who are making that kind of money $10,000 a month consistently for a 5-year period, and you must adjust for inflation. Kevin didn't emphasize that very often, but he knew that, and he would say it at times. So let me explain. If you're a man who's making $100,000 in New York, your $100,000 in New York is probably $60,000 here in Charlotte. So we have to adjust for inflation. $100,000 in New York City is nothing. So he's not talking about you guys either. And you got to adjust for inflation. So in New York City, the type of men who would be considered high value are men who are probably almost doubling it. You make $20,000 a month consistently over a 5-year period. And again, y'all get knocked out because you don't have a network of high value men who in your area who consider you their peer and seek you for advice. That's the third thing, right? So knock it off. Knock off the foolishness. Because we watched his show for the last 2 years, and woman after woman will call, oh, I've been with a bunch of high value men. And my man is who I'm with is high value men. Because see, they only hear, they think, oh, because my man makes X amount of dollars, he's high value. First of all, I call bunk on that. I'm going to debunk that, but I just did. Only 10% of men are making that kind of money. So how all you women living in weird ass places, Mississippi and Kentucky, where we know these men aren't living, but you got your choice of high value men who you know and you've been with. We ain't talking about your uncles and your brothers and nobody related to you. We talk about men who are interested in you. And we're not talking about, and a man just because he wants to sleep with you doesn't mean he's interested in a relationship with you. That's another thing he tried to teach y'all ladies. Understand, a man will fuck anything with a hole. Understand that. That's what the bar is. The bar ain't Instagram model. The bar is a man to find an excuse to fuck a hole in the wall. They call that a glory hole, right? That's how low the bar is. So y'all gassing yourselves up, putting batteries in each other's backs because you're getting attention from a group of men who will fuck a hole in the wall. You know how ridiculous that is? But when he would ask women, are these men seriously considering you to be their wife? And crickets. 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 Another conversation. Just because a man mentions the marriage topic or says something offhanded in regard to marriage doesn't mean that man is making plans to marry you. He might be just putting a feel out there to see where you are. He might just be running game on you. That's why Kevin said, seriously considering you. But see, y'all like to flip words and make up your own meanings of things. This is why I'm doing this. So let's go back to the 8s, 9s, and 10s. We know just off the top, best case scenario is only 200,000 of them men. Countrywide. They usually congregate in larger cities and metropolitan areas. Your New Yorks, your LAs, your Houstons, your Dallas, your Chicagos, your Atlantas, maybe Miamis. I can't even say Charlotte has that many of them. And Charlotte is the top 20 metropolitan area. I can't even say you probably got to go to the top 10 metropolitan area. Because to make that kind of money, the man has to be doing a certain type of job. And that's what Kevin would always say to these women, you don't know who these men are. You don't know what they do. And that's why women would say stuff like entrepreneur bullshit. Call bunk on that. The average entrepreneur, the majority of our entrepreneurs aren't making $10,000 a month or more consistently for a 5-year period. Not happening. In New York City, the average entrepreneur is not making $20,000 a month or more. Not happening. We lie so much to each other, we lie to ourselves. And it's time to start being honest. And I've been talking about this for the better part of 20 years. Women, most of the time, you don't know what your man makes. You don't have, especially, you just got with the man. You don't know, you think you know what he makes because you can tell by the way he dresses or the car he got or what shoes he's wearing. Y'all make assumptions, but you ain't never seen his check. You ain't never seen no direct deposit information. You ain't got no access to his portfolio or any of that kind of thing. Hell, most of the time, y'all don't know what y'all make. Trust me. I did taxes for over 20 years, and it never ceased to amaze me how many people didn't know what they made from year to year. We don't understand money and economics as a people. That's why he would ask women, what do you think the average black man makes in this country? 80,000, 75,000. You would hear women say this. You're fucking clueless. The average white man don't make that. We got to stop perpetuating lies and believing in it and start doing the work and knowing what things are. Alexa, what is the median household income in North Carolina for a black family?
North Carolina's median household income is $44,772.
Alexa didn't even specify black.
You Even by Jorge Aguilar 2, featuring Elizabeth.
Alexa, stop.
Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop. She didn't even specify black. She just said the median household income in North Carolina is $44,000. Household income, $44,000. So these people running around talking they make $100,000 a year, I'll call bunk on it. And you can do that for any city. You can Google it. This is readily available information you can Google. Or Alexa, or however you want to get your Siri, whoever you want to ask. I did a whole video on this. People don't make what they're saying. They lie. We know the average black woman in this country makes $37,000 a year. That's 50.1% of you. We know 94% of you make less than 75,000. Hell, almost 50. So all of these PhDs and I got a degree and I got this and I'm making all of this money and black men need to get their shit together, they're lying. They don't even exist. We talking about 4% of black women who make over $100,000 a year? Countrywide, Alexa just told you what the median household income was. So they want you to believe they're almost tripling the household income. How many times I got to do this topic? So let's go back to 8, 9s, and 10s. I'm getting off. 8, 9s, and 10s, black men. We know it's only like 200,000 in them, right? So what is the average black man? 50.1, that's the average, of black men in this country are childless and single. 60% of those men are in the middle class. Meaning, I don't agree with this definition for middle class, but I'm going to use it. Meaning they're making $40,000 a year or more. That's what middle class means by that definition. I don't agree with that. I got a different economic theory, but we're going to rock with it. There's like 20 different versions of an economic theory for what middle class is. I'm not going to get into an economics class for those of you. It'll be over most of y'all's heads. So we're going to go with it. It's middle class. So let's do the math, y'all. I've never done this. Let's do it live. Let me get the calculator going, man. I want to put. I really want to drill down on this point I'm trying to make. I really want to do that, and I think it's necessary. I think it's important. Bear with me. Bear with me, people. All right. So there are 21 million. Get the number out. Wait a minute. All right. We got 21 million black men in this country. Right? We know 50% of them are single and childless. So we just gonna say 10 million, right? Just to make the math fair. So now we're at 10 million, right? Of that 10 million, we know 60% of them are in the middle class. What is 60% of 10 million people? Let's do the math. I know what it is, but I just want to be, I don't want nobody arguing with me. So what are we talking about? We talking about roughly 6 million, right? That's what I'm getting. So of the 6 million, so what did I say? 50% of single and childless. Of that amount, 60% of them are in the middle class, making at least 40,000 a year, right? So that's at least 6 million of the 10, right? That's what the average, we're talking about the averages, the majority. The average black man is making more money than the average black woman. The average black man in this country, according to the data, CDC, blackdemographics.com, Pew Research, whoever you want to use, the average black man makes roughly $42,000 a year. That's what I just did. I just did the math the other way. So those numbers hold up, right? The average black woman makes 37,000. They just got to that number, 37,000. So this trope that black men need to get their shit together is false. I just debunked it. It's false. It's not true. Of course, there are always anecdotal exceptions to the rule. Now, not the men I deal with. I'm glad you brought that up. That voice I do, that's y'all sister girls psychologically talking to me. Telepathically, that's what it sounds to me when y'all talk to me. Okay, and not the man I deal with. Okay, that's what I already know what you're thinking. That's my point. Because y'all aren't dealing with quality men. And Dana and Judge Joe Brown was talking about this topic too. I shared that video. Somebody had asked this question on her show. I've also mentioned this before myself. Y'all are purposely, when I say y'all, the majority of you. Now, if you are an exception, meaning you're an exceptional woman, if you're an exception, you're an exceptional woman, you deviate from the norm or the majority. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the majority who do this thing that what I'm talking about, or I'm about to talk about. Right? So let's get back to the men. The average is 4, 5, and 6. There is no 7. So we know it's only 10% of the men who are 8, 9s, and 10s. We know there's another 50% at least of men who would be considered average. 4s, 5s, and 6s, right? What number are we at? That's 60%, right? We also know, based on what we know so far, the numbers, that 80% of our children are born to single mothers. And we know only 15% of the male black men made those babies. So based on the numbers, that's not your high value men making those babies, and that's not your average men. Okay? How do we know that? Let's do the numbers. 51% of men are single in the middle class. Single and in the middle class. 34% of men are married. Just in them two numbers alone, that's like 80-something percent right there. What's left? I was being generous by saying 15%. It's really like 5%. Because again, we know these high value men aren't making babies. As a general rule. Of course, there's always anecdotal evidence. And we still got to make room for the entertainers and rappers and all of them we took out, and athletes. But that's a small percentage of the black population of men. That's like 5% right there, right? So remember, we had 84%, right? 34% are married, 51% are childless and singless. So that's 34 and 51. We're talking about 85 right there, right? I'm doing it in my head. I got this light in my face. Can't think. It's like 85. So we had 85. 5% are entertainers, athletes, rappers. We took them off. Now we're at 90% of men that are accounted for, right? So that's 10% of men left. Just on those numbers. Those are your low quality men. Those are your ones, your twos, and your threes. I hope y'all following me. Get off of the anecdotal shit. We're talking about general rule of thumb. There's always exceptions to the rule. Your cousin Pookie, your cousin Ray Ray, Lil John may be an exception. It doesn't change what I'm saying. Right? Just coming in, pour some out for the Godfather. If y'all leaving me comments right now, I'm not looking at comments. So write your question or your comment down and save it for when I open up the chat when somebody can come on here with me live. Do it live. If you ain't doing it live, I really don't care what you think right now. I'm really, like I said, I already told y'all before, I'm phasing away from comments. I'm gonna start really turning them off. Because to me, if you can't stand behind what you say, at least your voice, how much credibility do you really have? You ain't no different than people who write their name on the bathroom wall in the bathroom at the gas station. Yeah, whatever. That's how much credibility I give to what some of y'all said. It's really silly to me. So, ones, twos, and threes are your low quality men. Those are the ones that you are choosing, ladies, to make 100% of the wedlock babies with. This is undisputed. This is facts. You're choosing to do this. So what Dana said on her show with Judge Brown, why this is happening. And it's because women can control low quality men. You can control them. The Pookies and the Ray Rays. They're not making no money. They're very low quality men. They have very little to bring. So besides their procreation, one of the 4 P's, they only bring you to meaning. You keep them around so you can have somebody to fuck. And when you get tired of fucking them, you send them in the corner, let them play PlayStation or let them run the streets and do what he wants to do when you don't want to be bothered with him. And then when you want to be bothered with him, you come fuck him and you start the process over again. This is how these babies are getting made. They're not coming from relationships. So there was never a man there to leave the relationship. It was never a man there. You only brought the man in long enough to fuck him and then get rid of him. Or until he aggravated you and pissed you off. Or he walked out because he got tired of you demeaning him. Is this every time? No, this is the vast majority. Vast majority means it's more than a simple majority. A simple majority is 51. We're talking about 80% and higher and rising. Ones, twos, and threes. So why does ranking matter? Let's bring it back around. If you've been dealing with a Pookie or a Ray Ray, that's what we collectively call them, the ones, twos, and threes. Let's say he was a 2. And you've been in a relationship with a 2 for majority of your life. Right? You always dealt with 2s and 3s. Now you just happen to run across a man who's a 5 or a 6. Let's say he's a 6 like me. Right? Slightly above average is what a 6 is. Now you dealing with this man or trying to deal with this man who's a 6, right? But you want to treat him as if he's that 2. But this man who's a 6 is 3 times better than the man you've been dealing with. Or at least double, twice as good as the men you've been dealing with, because you've been dealing with 2s and 3s. So he's either 3 times better or twice as good as the men you've been dealing with. And you think that 6, that average man who's slightly above average, is going to put up with your crap. Is going to put up with your sassiness, your attitude, your dysfunction, how you talk nasty to your kids. You being loud and stubborn. Dysfunctional. He's not. Now, he may put up with it long enough just to fuck you. But we talk about people building relationships with you. That type of man is not going to build a relationship with you. You probably ain't even going to make it to a first date with him. He going to already disqualify you on the first phone call. You ain't going to make it to the second phone call. I can't tell you how many times my sister has been listening to me in the next room have a conversation with somebody, and she be like, oh boy, here you go. And the girl never make it 15 minutes into the call. Because that disrespect and that devaluing of me shows his ugly head, and I don't deal with it. I don't tolerate it. I don't have to. I'm not a Pookie or a Ray Ray. I've worked for my position. And those type of women can't throw, they got a little education. They want to be able to throw their education around, and they can't do that either when they dealing with a man like me. I'm just as educated, if not more, than you are. Oh, then we want to go to work experience. I got 30 years in corporate America. So every box they try to check off, where it used to be superior to a Pookie or a Ray Ray, with me, they're finding out they can't even measure up to me. Again, you're not my equal. Because I excelled in corporate America. I wasn't just in corporate America, I excelled at it. Best in the world in my positions. Documented. I'm not going to toot my horn, I'm just using me as an example. But men who are above average, that means we're doing more than the average. We're doing more than them. We typically make more money than them. We have more education than them. We have more success and achievement, results than those do. So for somebody trying to emasculate me or demean me or reduce me down to a Pookie or Ray Ray, I ain't having it. And this is what I think Kevin needed to focus on more, He called them Henrys, uh, high earning men not rich yet. But I think he had too much emphasis on high value men. Why are we talking about him? It's not that many of them. I understood what he was doing because he talked about it because that's what you women said you wanted. But I think he spent too much time. Okay, after he level set y'all, okay, let me bring you. It's just like in car sales. People come in and they want that Eddie Bauer expedition. And I walk them over there and I start qualifying them and realize, man, you work at Walmart. There's no way in hell you're going to be able to afford this brand new Eddie Bauer expedition. Let me walk you back over here to this Escort or this Ford Focus that you really need to be looking at that got a rebate on it, and I might be able to get you qualified with a cosigner. Let me do that. That's where Kevin dropped the ball as a salesman. He qualified women, but he didn't walk the dog, is what they call it in salesmanship, and direct you to what you need. That's what real salesmen do. A real salesman is going to sell you what you need, not necessarily what you want. And you're going to be appreciative of it. That's what I taught Sam all of those years ago. I didn't try to force people to buy what they want, everything under the moon, but they can't afford it. Here's my card. When you get in a better position where you can get this Verizon phone and Verizon ain't charging you $2,000 deposit, come see me. Or if you want to get this prepaid phone, I can help you all day long. I will give people options based on their situation. But just because you want a Verizon phone, don't mean you're going to get it. Same thing. Just because you want this high value man, women, don't mean you're going to get it. And women don't like to hear that because you've been told you can have what you want. It's possible. We don't deal in possibility. We deal in probability. What's more likely to happen? Because again, y'all ladies don't play. Why you use a condom? A condom ain't 100% effective. So if you don't want to get pregnant, why are you making a man wear a condom? Because it's possible you still get pregnant. The probability is very low because a condom is like 99.2 or whatever the hell it is percent effective, but it's still like 0.8% chance that you get pregnant. See, y'all don't apply that then. You don't apply your logic there. Then otherwise, because if you didn't want to get pregnant, you'd be like, oh no, I don't care if you use a condom or not. It's always a chance that I get pregnant. The only 100% proof that I don't get pregnant is if I don't have sex. Y'all don't want to hear that because you want to have sex too. So you can't play with your logic. The logic, your train of thought and how you think needs to be consistently applied to different scenarios. Some of y'all saying right now, that ain't the same thing. It's the same logic. Logic doesn't change. And you should be adult enough to be able to apply logic across different scenarios. It's the same logic. Please tell me, somebody give me a like or a thumbs up in the comments if what I just said just makes sense. Because you ain't never heard that before. That's the whole probability versus possibility argument. It's possible, well, it's possible that you get pregnant using a condom. So that means you might as well not use a condom, right? Condoms don't protect against all STDs. Condoms don't, because see, that's what they're going to say. Well, you wear a condom for other reasons. So to stop for STDs. No. A condom don't stop you from getting syphilis. It don't stop you from getting herpes. You can still contract those things. Hell, you can still, it's not even 100% effective for no STD. But I'm just being very general right now. But you still do it because you want to have sex. Even though the possibility is you can hurt yourself. Right? Oh, see, when the logic is flipped on something you want. Right? This is where me and Kevin differ. Again, I respect the man, what his legacy is and what he tried to do. I understand it. And I understand where he came from as a salesman, hearing this methodology and way of thinking and way of solving problems and work ethic. Because I myself, we had very similar lives, even though I was younger than him, and I didn't do corporate sales. I typically did retail sales and call center sales. Is what I did. Doesn't matter. I was still a high value. I was still a top notch salesman wherever I went. It doesn't matter what you're selling. I've sold everything from parts, batteries, and accessory to fuses, to cars, I done sold all kind of shit. I never did corporate sales. I didn't. That wasn't my cup of tea. I have done business to business sales though. I had to chase that Hennessy with some Coke, boy. Y'all know I normally don't chase my Hennessy, man. I usually drink my Hennessy straight up, and I sip it, man. I'm a sipper. But that sucker was hitting strong. That sip I just had. I had to chase that with some Coke. Listen, I've been monologuing a little bit. So what I'm gonna do now is I think I'm gonna take a little break for a little bit, about 5-10 minutes, y'all. Take a 5-10 minute break. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna post the link in the description. Anybody wants to talk to me live. When I come back, I got a couple scriptures I want to share with y'all too. So stay tuned. Hold tight. Let me go on break. Damn it. I need my chip and they always go remind. I had to bust up so much for the one time. Like I'm flexing all my news, sometimes I need to be guessing my moves like there's no sign. I had to bust up some racks, show me anything so I can't get attached. I'm a killer, and boy, now we up on the map. I just heard she a fan and we'll get on my lap. No, I'm the kid, it's just how it's fast, but it's shot of the line, they know it's a fact. I had to bust some racks, they come my line, but I never be in the back. Bust on the road, but I got on track. Let me switch on the handicap. I got that on some normal scrap. The pedal so safe, we call it a strap. I'm doing it better. Bitch, let the cold work. I can say what I want. I don't pop for the drama. New girl, California. She be driving California. She want me like the vaccine. I made a check, didn't need no degree. I didn't believe. Do it myself, I don't need no team. I'm kidding, no scholar. Hey, baby, go farther. You can say what you want, but I'm still on pilot. Go down, get back up. Do it for myself, don't need no backup. Back then, I cannot believe I called you a friend. Hit me up now, get like alright. Learn to forget, but don't forget. Think about the future, past the day. Live my life with no regret. Every day I go to sleep, wake up to a payday. See me going up, yelling Mayday. I don't like you when I'm sober. Baby, it's all over. Wanna hop inside the road. Too fine, you belong in the spotlight. Go out every night is a highlight. Dark times right now, you a sunshine. I changed my life when I got rid of problems. I changed my life when I added a comma. Flying to Vegas to meet at the conference. I'll take a risk and I'm confident. I'll face my fear and I'll conquer it. So don't get impressed by a compliment. I'm
more press from all my cars, man. More than my diploma. They gon' get sick of me just like Corona. I don't give a fuck, that's my persona.
I get that. But once, as a salesman, right? If you want that for your, you want that legacy, you'll lie everything legacy.
At the end of my road, I'm screaming out, fuck it. I hate the drug, but when I use, I love it. I'm grateful of the kind of pain that no one cares. Addiction, whispers in my ear. Think you're better than this, how I got to inform. It's your daily routine, bro, the strong is the norm. You say you're getting off, but we've been here before. You're all back to some cash, you should go get more. I'm an addict and I like it, like a superhero. I guess we must be my sidekick. I can never back, so I've been prowling for a new fix, smoking different strains. Someone tell me why the bull fit. Tell me why you lacking. I can trust you cause I know you've been a fool. Many times I told myself this marijuana getting old. I put the thoughts right in a can. I smoke me another bowl. Trying to melt all the time away. Every minute just too cold. I'm a sex addict. I love her when she touches the pole. Automatic. Bullets addicted to taking souls. Let her have it. Empty the clip and reload. My bullets on go. I smoke some blow. I need it. I need my fix. The demons, cause I'm so red. Feeling, dreaming, thinking of the next time. Just to the dragon. The other road. I'm screaming out, fuck it. I hate the drug, but when I use, I love it. I'm grateful of the kind of pain that no one cares. Addiction, whispers in my ear. Think you're better than this, I regret to inform. It's your daily routine, bro, the joint is the norm. You say you're getting off, but we've been here before. You're all back to some cash, you should go get more. Walking around with open arms, but my heart remaining closed. Hear so much about perception, that's why I design your clothes. I don't think they pay attention, as long as they're fulfilled. Your homies be there for trips, but don't wanna pay the bills. Woke up inside my lungs, decisions so complicated. LSD on my tongue, don't know if I will make it. If I die, I need a plan, at least to keep me sedated. So tired of smoking runs, so real glue, I'ma face it. Oh, I need the Adderall, devil hits my line, I answer that call. I don't care, no, cause I'm on my own highway to hell. Chasing cash flow, nigga, I ain't fucking with up. Like, give me the cash out. These other niggas feel like lap traps. Just on the top of the snapback. You seen the flop, we can have that. Used to whip around in a hatchback. Now I drive around smoking big guy. With a white bitch got fat ass. Told me pass that blunt, that's that shit. I'm screaming out, fuck it. I hate the drug, but when I use, I love it. I'm grateful of the kind of pain that no one cares. Addiction, whispers in my ear. Think you're better than this, I regret to inform. It's your daily routine, bro, this joint is the norm. You say you're getting off, but we've been here before. You're up back to some cash, you should go get more.
Come on, my nigga, we don't go, my nigga, for all my doors in the pen. You said you was game, but you never hang, I guess it was a pen. The picture I paint is never gonna change, we should be gonna win. Spend this cash, I wanna sit back, we can do this shit all again. Come on, my nigga, we don't go, my nigga, for all of my doors in the pen. You said you was game, but you never hang, I guess it was a pen. The picture I paint is never gonna change, we gonna win. Spend this cash, I run to the back, we can do this shit all again. They all in the front, they show me love, the bitch, they both their friends. Got rice in my pants and 10 in my hands, like I'm on my way for this. I'm Mary Jeans with Dolce Gabbana, see I might go in the prize. I'm flying, I do what I wanna, with a crazy fly bitch. I'm the king of my hood, now let's see how I look. DC to New York, just know we all good. But nigga, don't forget who was there for you. Most of these bitches was telling you, so show me I never lied to you. Now you pull up, I got raw for you. Yeah, yeah. Come on, my nigga, we don't go, my nigga, for all my doors to the pen. You said you was gang, but you never hang. I guess it was a man. The picture I paint is never gonna change. Every game we gonna win. Spending this cash, I run to the bank, we can do this shit all again. Come on, my nigga, we don't go, my nigga, for all my doors to the pen. You said you was gang, but you never hang. I guess it was a man. The picture I paint is never gonna change. Every game we gonna win. Spending this cash, I run to the bank, we can do this shit all again. We can do this shit all again. Know what I wanted at the age of 10. No matter story I passed, I always knew money was gonna be the end. Did what I want with no consequence. Now we gon' ball in the store again. We not allowed in the store again. I think cause we bought the clothes again. All of them packages made it shit. Found a new beat and I made it hit. This is the story I started with. We got our boat to the max. Couple bands on my neck. I ain't do cash and check. You don't got a second guess. I don't wanna be the best. I don't wanna be the best. Yeah. Say a nigga from the block. Say a nigga from the steps. All the dice pay twice. You just might lose your life. In these streets every night. I don't niggas that was getting this chicken and cooking. I guess they good in the kitchen. I started off from the street to the city. I'm getting wild. Let's go fuck up the city. Yeah, yeah. Come on, my nigga. We don't go, my nigga, for all of my doors in the pen. You said you was gay, but you never hated. I guess it was a minute. The picture I paint is never gonna change. RPG, we gonna win. Spending this cash or run to the back. We can do this shit all again. Come on, my nigga. We don't go, my nigga, for all of my doors in the pen. You said you was gay, but you never hated. I guess it was a minute. The picture I paint is never gonna change. RPG, we gonna win. Spending this cash or run to the back. We can do this shit all again.
All right, I'm back. I am back. I came in on the right time. I think I did anyway. The song kind of went off. I didn't time it that way. It kind of just worked out that way, y'all. Bring the camera back on so I can see my big head. All right, it's your boy. I had to freshen my drink up, go to the bathroom. You know, all that behind the scenes stuff y'all don't know about. And when I gotta go, I gotta go. It is what it is. For those of y'all, when he's so unprofessional, he just gonna pause his video. Shut up. Shut the hell up. You don't know my situation. You don't know my life. You don't know my medical condition. But guys like me, women like me, content creators who, and there's a lot of us out here now, we love our people. We're doing this because we love y'all, not because we want to hurt y'all. We're doing this because we want to help y'all and we want y'all to do better. And no matter what our tone is, our attitude, our whatever you want to find, whatever reason you want to use to dismiss us, we're doing this. We do this work, and it's long and lonely. We don't have teams of people helping us. At most, some of us got a couple of people we can reach out to that can help us with little things, you know. But most of us are doing this work by ourselves. We're funding it by ourselves. This ain't inexpensive. There's these lights, these microphones. You know, we got bills too. We have real lives. I got kids. You know, so when people ask y'all donate. If because you spend the money on foolishness and on things that doesn't help you anyway, and you spend it on people who don't care nothing about you. So take your favorite content creator, send them a couple dollars, $1, $5 here there. They not asking for a lot of money. And I done been on some of these content creators who don't mean y'all no good. And I seen people cash apping them $400, $100 consistently. And I'm like, that's foolishness. They not helping you. They just saying they just throwing you red meat, saying whatever the crowd wants to hear to get you to who and ha, but it doesn't help you. I'm concerned about you. I'm concerned about my people. Again, I am the people's champ. That's what they call me. because I've been doing this for so long, and I've helped people. I don't make a make it public, but I help people behind the scenes myself. I donate to people, but I check on people. Hey, you good? Sometimes random people uh, on my timeline or on my feed or whatever, people I've seen year after year. Sometimes I get wind that you might be going through something, and sometimes people don't have nobody to talk to, and I just say, hey man, you need to talk, call me. I'm available anytime, day, night, middle of the night, whatever. Because some of y'all work late nights, truck drivers, nurses. Hey man, you need to just vent for a minute, call me up. Going through something, I sent people a couple of dollars even when I didn't have it to give. I gave. People trying to get to work, people trying to do back to school shopping, $20 short or whatever. We real people, and we got to help each other. That's what I said. We got to stop acting like fingers, and we got to start making a fist and working together. Oh, missed the call. Oh, that's my stepfather. I don't have time to talk to him right now. Got to be a long conversation. Actually, let me call him back. Actually, because let me just call him back. I apologize. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hey, I'm in the middle of a live video right at this moment. I just want to let you know that I'll call you back when I finish. All right, cool. So that was my stepfather, Arthur Lewis, y'all. The infamous Arthur Lewis. Salesmanship is a craft, and those who make a living at it, feed their families on it for at least a decade or more. Those are special people, and that's what we saw in Kevin. He was very special, whether you liked him or not. A lot of people don't like me. A lot of people don't like my stepfather. They don't like our tone. Same thing. We've heard it before. You don't like our tones. You know, like we could have said it differently. We could, all of that kind of nonsense. We've heard all our lives. We made a living at this game. We know it. It doesn't phase us. That's why I didn't phase Kevin. And before he became adopted or was adopted by the black manosphere, he was one of us salesmen, us real men who do the grind. They out there beating the pavement. They get up early. They go to bed late. He was one of us putting the work in. And you don't have a lot of salesmanship going on. That's what we call the salesmanship. My customers and what I told Sam, what made me different from him is because I genuinely cared about my customers. Is why I always gave them my business card with my personal number on it. And I would get sales, not even trying to get sales, because again, the law of 250 applies. So somebody would say to somebody else, man, I had a bad experience at Radio Shack or Best Buy or wherever they was trying to buy something that I sold. Oh man, no. You need to call my guy. Here's his number. My guy is different. My guy, that's what they call me. My guy will take care of you. And when we and it's just not just when salesmanship applies in a lot of industries that y'all don't really necessarily consider salesmanship. I developed my salesmanship at an early age working at McDonald's. And I started working for McDonald's in 1990. I turned 14 that year. And my best friend's mother, y'all hear me mention Deuce every now and then. Deuce is that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my family. But we weren't blood related. Um, and his mom was like my aunt, Theo. Everybody knew Theo in East Orange. And Theo was she was overall at McDonald's. We worked for a private owner, black couple, the Richardsons, who owned the McDonald's. They had a bunch of McDonald's in northern New Jersey and New York. Theo was one of their area supervisors, district manager rather. And my birthday that year, the present she got me when I celebrated birthdays, by the way, the present she got me was a uniform. She told me she lived on the same street on Elmwood Avenue in East Orange, New Jersey. And hey, I got a gift for you. You need to come down here and get it. I'm thinking I'm souped up because she used to make these cakes, and I'm thinking she made me a cake. I get down there to the house, it ain't no cake. It's a uniform. It's in a box, wrapped up and everything. And I opened it up, and it was a McDonald's uniform. And by the way, you got to go to work today. You got to go unload that truck. So that's what I did on my birthday in 1990. I turned 14 years old. And that started my career. And I just wanted to make money like all the other boys, teenage boys in my neighborhood. We just wanted to have a job and make some money, buy sneakers and whatever. But I learned a lot working at McDonald's, and I made it a career where I worked my way up to retention manager, and for the lack of basically assistant area supervisor is what I was. And McDonald's is a sales job. A lot of people don't realize that. So let me explain. If you go into a good McDonald's, the people know they have regular customers. They know their customers' orders. They know their names. They speak to you. They're friendly. How you doing, Mr. Johnson? You getting that number 3 today? Oh, okay, great. That is salesmanship. Or you're at a restaurant or McDonald's, and you see the old people there. They like to eat breakfast at McDonald's, and you got a girl in the lobby walking around with a coffee cup, filling up their coffee. Hey, Miss Baker, how you doing today? How's I heard your grandson graduated college, and let me fill up your coffee. You got enough cream? That's salesmanship. That'll keep people coming back. There's a McDonald's everywhere, but why is your McDonald's different? What makes your McDonald's special? There's a Bojangles on Freedom Drive in Charlotte that I go to. I've been going to for years, and Miss Jackie is that old lady who works there. She talks real slow. She works on the drive-through most of the time. Sometimes she works the front register. Usually you hear her working on the drive-through, and it's her because she's gonna say, "Good morning, welcome to McDonald's, welcome home. How can I help you?" So Miss Jackie say. So if you're in Charlotte, she been off on Fridays lately. So Monday through Thursday, you in Charlotte, stop out Freedom Drive, Bojangles, and tell Miss Jackie that V sent you. Okay? Very, very sweet lady. There's also another girl that works there. Her name is Tish. Light-skinned girl. She's kind of the manager, I believe. Very good customer service from them people. I go to that Bojangles specifically. I go out of my way to go to that Bojangles. Even when I was living in Hidden Valley, there was a Bojangles right there on Sugar Creek. I would go out of my way to go to the Bojangles on Freedom Drive because of the salesmanship, the quality that I got when I was out there. They knew my order. When I walked in, they knew my order. Oh yeah. No, I got him. He got he getting a 5-piece Supremes combo, no sauce and a tea. We already got his tea made. Just go ahead and ring him up. He know how much it's gonna cost. They already knew it. Every time I go in there, they know it. I get the same thing every time. That little piece of salesmanship. I can't tell you how much countless money I put into that Bojangles because of it. Salesmanship. There's another Hendrix BMW on Independence Boulevard. Great salesmanship, great customer service. To me, they're the same thing. And I didn't buy my car there. My car was used, so I didn't buy it from them. Uh, but I always got my service done there. I had a service manager, one guy that I dealt with for years, and whatever was wrong with my car, and I didn't have very much wrong with it, but I got a clutch put in the car one time. He took pictures of the old clutch. He took pictures of things that, oh, you need to be look out for this. Let me show you. Emailed it to me, stayed in touch with me. He's my guy. I got a question about my car. I could just call him up. Hey, man, I need a tail light for my car. Is it worth me coming into the dealer for it? Nah, Van, don't worry about that. Here's what you do. Go to this website, get it from there. You can snap it on yourself. We're going to charge you $300 if you come here. But if you do it yourself, it'll cost you $40. He was my guy. So I recommend to people over time, if you're buying a car, or if you have a car and Hendrix has that car brand, because it ain't just BMW, they do Land Rover, Mercedes, Toyota, they do everything. Go to Hendrix. I've never had such good customer service from them, from a dealership, and I worked for dealerships. I worked for a lot of dealerships, great dealerships. Dick Dyer is a great dealer in Columbia. Hendrix is better, and they do better customer service. That salesmanship matters. It matters. The story that I'm telling y'all, it reminds me of what Dennis Sperling was saying about Kevin. You know, he wanted, why don't you just come out and say it to me? Well, that's not how we work. We tell these stories to teach y'all through these stories. Some of y'all gonna get it, some of you not gonna get it. That's just the way it goes. That's the way it is. Let me pull up my notes, y'all. I ain't looked at my notes not one time. Some things I wanted to bring up. But Kevin Samuels showed black people why salesmanship mattered. Why? Why did it matter? And that knowledge that he was always in pursuit of. Because that's what we do, us top salesmen. We always looking to increase our knowledge, and we spend hours and countless hours. And I know Dennis was saying that, man, he only got like 4 hours worth of sleep. Anybody who knows me knows the same thing is true about me. I'm up all night. I only get like 3-4 hours of sleep a day. My mind is constantly going. I'm constantly, what are you doing? Oh, I'm up studying. Oh, I'm in the Bible. I'm doing Bible study with somebody on the phone and whatever. I'm always doing something and learning and teaching and always, constantly. Always been like that. And why does that matter? Because knowledge is what we lack. And we don't know what words mean. And oftentimes we confuse information with knowledge. They're not the same. We're destroyed people for lack of knowledge, not a lack of information. We got the world's information at our fingertips, but we're not applying it. We're not understanding it. We're not using it and transforming it into knowledge to benefit ourselves, to benefit our community. It's biblical. So I turn to the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and 6 through 7. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. That's the state that we find ourselves in right now. It was prophesied. Let's break that scripture down a little bit. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Again, we have information, not knowledge. And there's another precept for that that says you have a zeal for God, but not according to God, but not according to knowledge. You got a zeal. You love God, I love God, and God, and Lord, 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 and Jesus. You hear him say that. But soon as what's in the Bible starts coming out, you see their countenance, their face just start cringing and change. They don't want to hear what you're saying. It's always been true of our people. We're destroyed for lack of knowledge. And because thou hast rejected knowledge, you're outwardly rejected. You don't want to hear what somebody's telling you. You don't want to make a change. You don't want to admit that you was wrong or that you didn't really fully understand something. So you reject it. You didn't understand Kevin. You didn't like the fact that he was telling you you need to change. So you rejected him. You rejected the knowledge that he was trying to share with you. And you made it personal. That's why you seen people dancing on his grave before the man was even buried. Before we even knew he was dead, people was already dancing. We've always done that. We've always done that, particularly to black men, to a particular group of black men, high quality black men, prophets. I'm not calling Kevin a prophet, but I'm just making the comparison. The great men to high quality men. Just because you're high quality don't mean you're a prophet or a priest or a disciple or any of that kind of stuff. Not saying that. Some of y'all gonna try to say that's what I'm saying to dismiss what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But high quality men have characteristics, and they always have. These men are a little bit more arrogant, very matter of fact, straight to the point, no nonsense. They on a mission. They ain't playing games with you. You can look all through the Bible, and that's how those men were perceived. All of them. All of those great men. I told the story about Noah. Noah was on a mission. He did not care what anybody said about him. God told me to do this thing, and I'm going to go do it. 50 years to 100 years it took to build that ark. And our people, you know our people, they talk shit about that man and ridiculed him and they mess with his kids and his wife. You know this. And they did it up until the moment the ark doors slammed shut. They kept doing it past that. When the water was at their necks and they had climbed up on everything as high as they could get, they were still talking shit. Everybody can't be saved. This is what I told Shalakimia recently. I told somebody else, another contemplator, I can't remember who it was. Everybody can't be saved. Everybody is not going to be saved. The vast majority of us, 2/3, 66%, however you want to do it, will not be saved. That's what God said was going to happen. Only 1/3 of us were going to wake up. And even of that 1/3, some of them ain't going to make it. Moses kept going. His sons respected him so much. His sons' wives respected him, his own wife, that they supported their father for 50 to 100 years while he was building that ark. And everybody was ridiculing him. And, yeah, hey, man, your crazy daddy, he's still building that boat. Why he building the boat? We ain't in no water. Because water going to fall from the sky. Your daddy crazy. It ain't no water ever fell from the sky before. You know black people. We've always done that. Always dismissive of knowledge and what somebody's trying to tell us. Because we don't like it. Because we don't want to make change. We hate correction. Thus saith the Lord. We're stiff-faced. Hard-necked. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. Thou hast rejected knowledge, and I will also reject thee. That's why we was brought here in captivity. That's why we remain in captivity. That's why cut the check Johnson is bullshit. Because if you don't get right and start following the law that God put for us to follow, none of that matters. None of it matters. We are in captivity. How do we know we're in captivity? Because you're subject to payments. Y'all got to pay y'all Negro tax. Every paycheck. Matter of fact, you don't even pay it no more. They just take it from you. Before you even get your check, they done took your Negro tax. They done took your payment from you. Right? They got automatic billing on your ass. They just take it straight from you. It don't even hit your bank account. And they take that payment from you. Ain't that what God said? How you would know you in captivity? Because you be subject to payments? Y'all don't hear me. Pastor Pork Chop ain't telling you that. Because see, Pastor Pork Chop wants you to focus on the possibility that God might be wrong. The Bible might be wrong. Because if they believed in what God said, they wouldn't be telling you what they're telling you. This is why black men have left the black church. Ain't no black men in the church. Most of the black men, they old men. They already married, and ain't no single black men in the church. That 51% of black men who are single and childless ain't in the church. And those are the men that y'all need to be making husbands with. They ain't in the church. The church is leading y'all into a burning building. They won't tell you the truth about yourself any longer. See, they used to. But when they did the same thing that corporate Democrats did, when they realized, just like corporate America, because see, the Black Church Incorporated, is the agent of white supremacy in corporate America. And they realized the same thing at the same time, right in the 70s, we can make money off of them. We can make some money off of them. Good economics, Willie Lynch said. Sound sleep, Willie Lynch said. They all realized it. And they all started catering to you because they know when you would if they give you too much liberty, you would hurt yourselves. And that would be good for them economically. That's where we are. And yet now y'all cringe every time a black man tries to tell you it's good for you. We're telling you because contrary to whatever you think, okay, whatever you feel, contrary to that, the only protection that you have, black women, is black men. That's historically accurate. The history of this world, the only person that's going to step up and protect you is black men. Nobody else is going to do it. So the white man gave y'all all this liberty so he could destroy you and take money from you. That's that $1.5 trillion y'all spend in rising on foolishness, most of it. A lot of that goes into the black church, who's taking all of them billions of dollars out of the black community and ain't did shit for us. That building fund, right? But some of y'all getting mad now Now, he ain't talking about my church. Yeah, I'm talking about your damn church too. Yes, I am. Some of y'all family members of mine. I'm talking about our family church. Yes. Yes, I am. See, I grew up in the Baptist church. I know what I'm talking about. And this is why they allow that Christian feminism that Kevin called it, and that prosperity gospel that they've sold the black woman on over the last 50 years. And they did nothing but run black men out of the church. And it's been bad for the community. Can't argue that point. Has the community gotten better? No, the community is in shambles to the point where we don't even have a community no more. You can't argue that. Citation needed. Facts needed. Because all of the facts tell us otherwise. My church is different. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. You're still in captivity, ain't you? That's what God said. You're still in captivity, right? Proverbs 8 and 10. Receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than gold. What is God saying here? See, we spend so much time chasing trinkets, things that don't matter, chasing the bag. First of all, I don't know who get paid in bags but strippers, but that's another conversation. Chasing foolishness that y'all ain't never finding because the vast majority of y'all make less than $37,000 a year, right? So who getting the bag? None of y'all. The majority of y'all ain't getting the bag. But it sounds cute, and you repeat it, and it makes you feel good, and black girl magic and all that bull crap. God's saying, forget all of that. Do what I told you to do. Do what I told you to do. The problem is, our leaders haven't told us what God said to do. They tell us what they want us to do, which benefits them coincidentally, right? Right? Knowledge rather than gold. This man was giving you something that was more precious than gold. And some of y'all missed it. You rejected it. You skipped right over your head. You danced on his grave. You've seen that before. That's a reoccurring pattern. All he wanted was better for black people. And sadly, like many great men before him, they don't make it to the promised land. That's not their call in life. They get taken early. They don't make it to that place, that prosperous place that we're promised. They don't get to make it. Moses didn't make it to the promised land. He didn't make it. He didn't get there. Solomon had to watch his empire be destroyed by his son. Everything he worked for got undone. Many of the 12 disciples were assassinated, decapitated for doing the right thing. So we've seen this before, y'all. Malcolm got shot by his own people. All of these great men went too soon. Malcolm, Martin, Huey, Keep going. And too often we claim to love these men after they gone or after they can no longer fight the fight. Muhammad Ali. They hated Muhammad Ali. But then all of a sudden today, everybody love Muhammad Ali. Ah, that's funny. Cycles, things are cyclical. They repeat each other. Nothing new under the sun. Proverbs 12 and 1. Whoso loveth instruction, loveth knowledge. But he that hateth reproof is brutish. That's an interesting word that our forefathers chose there to use. Brutish. In case you don't know, King James Version of the Bible was translated by 47 Hebrew scholars, black men. They translated from Latin, Greek, Arabic, into English. 47 of them. They made those translations. Wasn't one man, it wasn't a white man, which you were led to believe. It was 47 black men. Need a citation, Zondovan's Bible Dictionary. Zondovan's Bible Dictionary is the most popular Bible dictionary on the planet. So those who need credibility. 47 Hebrew scholars. Black men. Scholars. They were linguistically gifted men. They chose this word, brutish. Let's try to understand what they're saying. Right? The definition of brutish. 2a. Strongly and grossly sensual. That's interesting. I found that interesting. Sensual is another way of saying sexual. Strongly and grossly sexual. What do we see in our community today? Hypersexualized. Okay? It's hypersexualized. So that makes that word very interesting. Hypersexualized. Connect the dots. B, 2b. Showing little intelligence or sensibility. So let's put that together. So if you're brutish, you hypersexualized, showing little intelligence and sensibility. That's that I feel crap. Because the definition of a feeling, the way you're using it, is a belief, especially a vague and irrational one. That's not sensible. It's irrational. It's not logical. And this is where men get frustrated. And this is what Kevin gave us through his salesmanship. Men were so used to trying to make logical arguments with women. Well, you can't make a logical argument with somebody who's irrational. They're never going to see the logic. So what Kevin would do is use his salesmanship to actually let you paint yourselves in corners, and we would see it time after time after time on his live videos. See, this is what they don't realize. Them videos are there forever. Go back and watch them. You would see these women paint themselves into a corner. He wasn't doing it to them. They did it to themselves. And then, taste the soup. He would hit them with that. After they done painted themselves into the corner. Now, does that make sense? What was his catchphrase? You can't make this up. I say that. Some other people say that too, but that's his catchphrase. We're gonna get that to the Godfather. I didn't get it from him, but he pushed it forward. Okay. Sign language wasn't his either, but he pushed it forward. I'm gonna get that to him. Showing little intelligence. Again, education isn't intelligence. See, I don't want to show us your intelligence because most of the time you ain't as intelligent as you think you are. You're just so used to dealing with Pookie and Ray Ray. He makes you look way smarter than what you are. But then when you get in a room with somebody who actually is intelligent, you get frustrated because your arguments look real stupid. You get somebody who can actually teach you something. But that's why y'all always trying to ask somebody try to teach me today. And I'm like, I don't even understand why we having this conversation. Like, I shared a video. It's off topic, on topic and off topic. Let me give me a shot. Shout out to the Godfather. I am V Ben Israel, the People's Champ, and I'm fighting for my people because I love y'all. Love is correction. I ain't trying to make you feel warm and tingly. I ain't gonna talk to you smooth as butter and soft as oil. I'm gonna do what I was commanded to do. Cry aloud and spare not. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. Cry aloud and spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Show my people their transgressions. Show the house of Jacob their sins. That's the mission I'm on. I ain't gonna tell you your shit don't stink. I'm gonna show it to you just like I was commanded to. It's a pile of crap on the living room floor. We got to do something about this. Men and women. This ain't just directed at you women. Because got some problems with some of you women, you men too. Just like Kevin did. That's why he talked to y'all for so long before he talked to the women. See, he started talking to y'all women because y'all asked him to. He was talking to men, and y'all was in the comments. I remember, why you don't talk to the women? Why you don't do this? And now he started talking to y'all the same exact way. And then you want to complain. Hypocrites. Anyway, I shared a video today, or yesterday, or whatever it was. Young kid was talking about gentrification and his experience. And he said, when I got out of my mama's house in 2011, that's 11 years ago, the rent was $4.50. I had an apartment for $4.50. Minimum wage was $7 and some change. Now today, we got to pay $1,200 for the same apartment, and minimum wage is still $7. I think what he was speaking, young man, if he got out the house in 2011, I'm assuming he was about 18 years old at that point. Now I'm assuming 10 years roughly have passed. So he's about 28 now, somewhere around there. I'm guessing. I don't know this kid. I'm just guessing. So that makes him with a millennial or a Zoomer, one in there somewhere. I was surprised that a man that age had that understanding of gentrification. And it's many of you who are my age that don't understand gentrification. You know what the word is, but you don't understand the concept. So I shared the video. I didn't put no comments on it. I just shared the video. Somebody took it upon themselves to take this moment to try to teach me about gentrification. I wasn't sure if they were trying to teach me or they were just speaking in general. You saying you, as in y'all need to understand this. But so I try to clarify, like, who is your audience? Or who are you talking to? Well, make some smart comment. I'm talking to the person who made the post or something like that. Why the hell are you speaking to me about gentrification? As if I don't understand what gentrification is, which is why I shared the video. I shared it because that young man, I understand my analytics. I know who my audience is. And I would say about 15% of my audience are millennials. They're younger and younger. So from time to time, I like to share things that affect different demographics who watch me regularly. That was my purpose for sharing the video. But y'all think you know things that you don't know. And instead of asking a question, you want to try to teach somebody something. Again, you're not my equal. I don't debate and argue with people who are not my equals. Everybody else I teach. So you coming on my platform trying to teach me some shit that I done made dozens of videos about? Are you shitting me? It's offensive. It's disrespectful. That's what it is. I got dozens of videos going back 20 years since before Facebook, talking about this very topic and giving solutions on this topic. Ain't that funny? But y'all sisters do this a lot. Y'all always trying to teach somebody something. Listen and learn in silence. And if you should learn anything, learn from your husbands at home. There's a reason that was said. Some of y'all think you know things and you can teach people. You ain't ready to teach. You don't know what you're talking about. Listen and learn sometime. Come to me genuinely. Ask me why I posted the video. Hey, are you not sure what gentrification? That would have been a better way. Hey, V, you don't know what gentrification is? I'm surprised. And no. And I would explain why I posted the video. But no, you assumed, based on whatever's in your rabbit ass head, why I posted the video and why you needed to try to teach me with this long. I told y'all before, stop sending them long ass paragraphs. I don't read most of that shit. I'm legally blind. It's frustrating for me. I'm not reading it. And it's most of the time, it's worthless information. You ain't saying shit no way. Stop wasting my time. Now, again, some of you, I don't like his tone. I don't like he talking about black women. I don't give a fuck. It's disrespectful. Let's deal with that first. This is a topic I've talked about dozens of times. Dozens. You don't know what you're talking about. That's the equivalent. Let's take a cookout. Black people know cookouts. We had a cookout, and some people are standing around having a conversation, and you just run up on the conversation and start trying to correct people without not knowing none of the history of that conversation or the people who are having that conversation. Old people would tell you, you better take your ass over there to that child's table. It's a grown people conversation over here. And that's my attitude towards it. Again, I'm not Kevin. Kevin may play with y'all or may have played with y'all and tried to finesse it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to shut that shit down because it's disrespect, and I don't do disrespect at all. And it was just unnecessary comment trying to teach me. It just wouldn't, and y'all won't let it go when y'all run. I let it paint itself into a corner because I got that salesmanship too. And then I hit it with what I just said. I got thousands of hours of video on social media. I got 2 published books on Amazon. I got hundreds of written posts. Dozen videos on this very topic that I discuss it in depth. Remind me again why you're trying to teach me. Showing little intelligence, because if you're intelligent, you're going to move a certain way. Maybe I don't need to come at this man like that. Maybe I need to do a little more research on who I'm about to try to teach something to. Know your audience. Those of y'all who've been watching my videos or know me personally have seen me do this to people how many times over the years? Again, I ain't called the People's Champ for no reason. Let's look at some synonyms for brutish. Bestial, feral, mean characteristics of an animal in nature, action, or instinct. Brutal applies to people, their acts, or their words, and suggests a lack of intelligence, feeling, or humility. That's what the synonyms say. Again, sister, you came to me with no humility. That's brutish. And black men are sick of it. Y'all trying to, let me tell you something. I shut that shit down as soon as that come out your mouth. Loud and stubborn and knoweth nothing, according to God. Listen and learn in silence. Because have you listened and learned, listen to my videos, you would have learned this ain't the conversation this ain't the post I need to make on this man's content. I don't need to come at him this way. I'm gonna show some intelligence. I'm gonna show some salesmanship. I'm gonna show some femininity. I'm gonna show some leadership. See, this is what keep y'all unmarried. Those continual drops on our heads. We don't want to hear that shit. It's unnecessary. Because you could have did the work. Instead of going back and forth them long ass posts, there's a reason this man asked me this question. Maybe I need to step back for a minute. No, y'all just keep painting yourselves further into them corners. We watched it happen on not just Kevin's channel, on many content creators' channel over and over again. You paint yourselves into them corners. You want to talk. You want to try to teach somebody. Your job ain't to teach men. Your job is to teach women and children, younger women and children. That's your job. If you ain't doing that, you're too busy trying to do the man's job. Guess what? Ain't nobody doing y'all's job no more. That's why these kids are running amok. That's why our boys read at a 4th grade level. Because you're too busy trying to do man shit and don't even know what you're talking about most of the time. Do your job before you come over here trying to do my job. But I'm going to be fair. I try to be fair. Again, I just didn't come out on the attack. Maybe I misunderstood what you're trying to ask me, which is why I asked, who's your audience? Who you talking to? Let me understand. Maybe I missed something. Excuse me. I ain't got the patience that Kevin Samuels had. That brother had a lot of patience with y'all. And every time he went off on somebody, every single time he went off on somebody, man or woman, he warned them first. So he warned them and tried to avoid it every single time. Just kept painting yourself into the corner. Until the man friggin' exploded on you. Then y'all want to scream victim. And why he talked to her like that? He disrespect women. He don't like his mama. He gay. Monique came out not too long ago and said, same thing. Let's have some salesmanship. Let's be presentable. I'm paraphrasing. These ain't her words, but this is the sentiment what she was trying to convey. Excuse me, I got a little tingle in my throat. Must be that Hennessy. Maybe I need more. I don't know. Monique tried to come out. Sisters, stop wearing the bonnets in the airports. Let's be presentable. And y'all did the same shit to her. So it ain't just men. Y'all don't like correction. So anybody who tries to give you some correction, you come out. That's your instinct. You need to be asking yourself, why do I think this way? Every time somebody try to correct me. Because what did the scripture say? Wait a minute. What did it say? Whoa, let's connect that dot. Wait a minute. Where is it at? Whoso loveth instruction, loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish. Proverbs 12:1. That's what that goes into, y'all. You're brutish. Emotional, animalistic. You're going back to your basic nature and you can't tell me this and why. defense mechanism. It's like you paint a cat into a corner and push your animal into the corner and it gets ready to attack immediately. That's the feral. See, our forefathers chose that word brutish for a reason. Very powerful word. Very powerful word. All right. That's it for my notes. Let's do some comments. Bear with me a minute. Let me figure out how I'm gonna do this. Had to refocus my eyes for a minute. I'm sorry. Let's do this. All right. So let me go into the studio on this phone. And I'm gonna improve my studio, y'all, at some point. Oh crap. I hope I didn't mess it up. No, I didn't. Okay. And so that I'm gonna make it easier for me. My situation is different from most content creators because of my eyesight, me being legally blind. So I have to find different solutions to my problem um, that go against the normal. So I'm still doing my research. I'm thinking I'm going to use a tablet instead of a laptop to anchor my studio, my broadcasts. That's what I'm thinking may be better for me. A tablet is a little bit better than a laptop for me. It's a little bit easier for me to use. I was going to go with a bigger desk, but I think like a lot of content creators, because they got all that shit that they got to put on their desk. I don't need that. I'm going to go with a smaller desk. Hold on, let me do what I'm doing. I'll finish that conversation. Hold on. So let me get out of there. Wait a minute. Oh, shit. Here we go. It's a little tricky, y'all, sometimes. So let me try to do this right. All right. So okay. Now let me go. Shit, come on. And StreamYard isn't really set up for mobile as well as it should be. Okay, am I seeing comments? I think I am. Give me a second. There's a couple of ways I can do this. I'm trying to do it a specific way. StreamYard is tricky sometimes, though. StreamYard is tricky. Come on. Oh, you know what? Let's turn it this way. Okay. So I can read comments, but it's not allowing me to post. Oh shit. Come on. Bear with me. And then this desktop version of StreamYard is even different from the mobile version, the regular mobile version. Again, these are things y'all don't really know about the behind the scenes stuff, and sometimes we have to figure things out on the fly. It ain't always clear cut. This is all still relatively new technology. So let me do it a different way. I'm not figuring it out on StreamYard. Get out of there. Let's go over to YouTube. Give me a second. I'm pretty sure I know how to do it. Yeah. Okay. So on YouTube. So I'm on YouTube. And there we go. Here we go. So if you go to YouTube and look in the comments on YouTube, in the chat, I pinned the link so you to come live on YouTube. Come link on StreamYard, but it's the link is on YouTube. Now, okay, so it's there. I'm gonna go over to Facebook now. Go over to Facebook. And let's try to do the same thing at Facebook. Because I really want to talk to people, and I've been saying that for a while. I like to have the direct dialogue, and I see some comments have come in already, but I'm gonna add a comment myself. Let's see. Paste. Now, can I pin that one? So Facebook is not allowing me to pin it, but if you look in the comments, you'll see one from me that has the link to StreamYard on those comments. And so I'm gonna go back to StreamYard so I can see if anybody wants to come to my back room yet. Now, it's a little tricky. A little tricky. A little tricky. So let's go back in there. There I go popping in again. Take myself out. There I go. Boom. And let's go to the guest screen. Here we go. Now I can see guests. So, all right, that wasn't too bad. So I'm gonna wait a little while and see if anybody wants to chime in. Like I said, please, you don't have to be live on camera, but just make sure we can hear you. And don't have any background noise. Go and turn your TV off, turn your YouTube off. Take me off of Bluetooth if you're using Bluetooth. Mute TVs. If you just want to jump in and talk, just say, hey, rest in peace to the Godfather, condolences to his daughter and his mom. That's cool. This is a space. I'm going to give y'all an opportunity to do that. Again, this ain't about being in 100% in agreement with anybody. What are there things this man said that you could agree with? And I'm willing to bet that more of those things were true, because he didn't say anything that wasn't true, then you have a problem with his tone or whatever you think his problem was. And he already proved y'all wrong in his death, and he ain't like women. He was found with a woman. The woman is the one who found him. And Dennis Sperling told a great story on that, who that woman was. And then y'all even tried to attack her. And she was a fat bitch and this. I mean, come on. First of all, he never said he didn't like big women. That's not what he said. He said that those men that you say you want typically don't date larger women with children. That's what he said about those men, not about himself. Huh? And the girl he got with, they reconnected. She was somebody who had reached out to him earlier, and he had gave the girl some advice, and she followed the advice and lost some weight. So the pictures that everybody was looking at was her old picture. a pretty woman, but she just needed to lose some weight. She put the work in and lost the weight, and they reconnected. And then he was developing an affinity for this woman where he wanted to be with her. That's him being true to himself. That's what he said. But y'all try to change his words around and make him out to be something he wasn't. And the girl looks, I haven't seen the recent pictures of the girl. It doesn't matter to me. He liked her. That's all that mattered. And they had a relationship. What's wrong with that? But y'all so busy trying to prove somebody wrong and tell somebody something all the damn time. The hell is this, Bishop Nathaniel? So, I'm giving y'all time to jump in, man. Get in here with me. Somebody. Let's talk, man. And we could do smoke too. You got a problem with me? There's some confusion about Kevin Samuels that you have. And maybe I could clear it up. I don't know the man personally, but I think I could explain some things to some of y'all. Knowing what type of man he is or was. And again, we led similar lives. So, I mean, bring the smoke. Bring it. You got a problem with me, anything. You want to talk about any topic, something I need to clarify or something I've said. My butt stink, my breath stink, my hair nappy, whatever. Bring it. I'm that dude. I have no problem with that. I make no reservations or anything about who I am. I am who I am. Am who I am. I think I want to take another break real quick while I'm waiting. I don't even know how many people watching me. Let's see. Let me come out of this screen and see if I can see something. What's that? Let's go over to that. Oh, come on. Man. I got somebody watching. I got somebody who left a sad face. I don't know who that was. Okay. So anyway, let's go back to guests. Bring my guest window back up. There we go. And I'm going to wait. While I'm doing that, let's see if we could do an intermission real quick. Let's see if I can do that. Hold on. What is that? All right. Let's see. So I'm gonna let this copyright-free music just play for a little bit. Give me another 5 minutes, y'all, and I'll be back. I'm gonna give some of y'all, if you go in to the waiting room, just stay there. Don't go anywhere. Just stay there, and I'll see you when I come back on. Nobody's in there as of right now. So the description, or in my description, in the comments on YouTube, I pinned the link. Also on Facebook, on Van Johnson Facebook, you can see in the comments the link. It's easy to find on YouTube. Y'all should be going on YouTube anyway. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of time to do that. Send me a cash app, y'all. Send me $1. Send me $5. Whatever. Help your boy build this channel because we growing, man. We over 100 now, and I've only done that for a couple of months where I really pushed the growth of my channel. I just started doing that in like February, so that's not bad, you know. Keep supporting me. I appreciate it. Gonna pause this camera for a minute.
I think I'm in love, sitting way too often. I can play these games and I'm switching up the offense. See me in LA, I'll be moving cautious. I can feel no pain, rolling up, I'm so exhausted. I've been so exhausted. Whoa, I'll be so exhausted. I close my eyes, I see the vision. All this weekend got me lifted for a four, and then I finished tonight. I told my mama that I'm with it. Got this all like it's my kitchen. Middle finger to these bitches up, alright. Cause I'ma do it my way. Sings it like the flu, ayy. Shawty said she loved me. I told her, who are you, ayy? I know where that lane is since I took out your brain, bitch. All these niggas talking about what they saying. GTA I'm wasted. Lately I've been anxious. I'm so done with this fake shit. I'm so done with you. I'm so done with you. I'll be so exhausted. I'm rolling up the blind, getting lost, I'm never found. Guess I'm never good enough for these bitches in my town. I don't really give a fuck, I'm looking like with my curve. Can't keep it by tomorrow, cause they not gon' hold me down. I done made it through the storm, I ain't talking NBA. Mama knew I'd be the star, all the love it I became. I got one up on the phone, said he touchdown in LA. I'ma get it how I get it, I ain't changing for the fame. And I put it on my name. I've been wasted. I'm so done with this place. I'm so done with you. I'm so done with you. I'm so exhausted. I've just been so lonely, 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 lonely. I've been so damn lonely. These niggas acting phony, 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 phony. Acting so damn lonely. Just get out my way. Swerving through lanes, I be drifting away. And I can't complain, spit it, I'll be okay. We are not the same, no, I'm never gonna change. I just keep going, no, I've been so broken. These niggas I change, yet they knocking That's just for promotion. Far as my emotions, I feel like I'm close. They bias cause I'm chosen. I don't do the ghosting. All she do is close though. She like me cause I'm open. And I ain't off the potion. But I might be crispy like white teeth. Let it like Nike. Check like Nike. Can't try the nigga that's Nike. But I see fuck niggas that's Nike. Flying on me most likely. Can't fuck me cause I'm like this. I'm lonely. I've been so damn lonely. These niggas acting phony. Acting so damn lonely. Just get out my way. Swerving through lanes, I be drifting away. And I can't complain, split it, I'll be okay. We are not the same, no, I'm never gonna change. I'm leaning on the picture, and I've been on some liquor. Sipping on that Remy with that hand. They follow me like scripture, and I've been getting quicker. Been at the up, and when I hit the handle, we never gonna fall. All my brothers on call. We forever gonna ball. No, it's nothing at all. I just been so lonely. I've been so damn lonely. These niggas acting phony. Acting so damn lonely. Just get out my way. Swerving through lanes, I be drifting away. Man, I can't complain, spit it, I'll be okay. We are not the same, no, I'm never gonna change.
It's your boy. I'm back. I am back, people. I just need a little break because I'm going long tonight. I'm doing it. I'm going long purposeful because I want to give people a chance, regardless of how you felt about the man, um, or what you thought of the man. Some people had things they wanted to say, and so I'm giving my viewers a chance to express themselves. That's what I'm trying to do, and talk about some things because we have to have conversations, and men particularly, we thought or we felt, for lack of a better word, we weren't free to speak in the presence of women. We got shut down and we got dismissed when we try to convey our thoughts and our perspectives. And that's changed over the last few years. Kevin Samuels was a big promoter of that space, but it existed before him. The Black Manosphere particularly existed for him. I do not claim to be a member, neither did Kevin, but he associated with a lot of people in that space, the quote unquote red pill community. A lot of things that they say or believed, he believed. Same thing with me. I agree with them on a lot of things. I do have my issues with them too. Um, but I just think the conversations need to be had. Is what I'm saying. Conversations need to be had. So I'm here. I'm hopefully y'all liking and sharing my videos. I know I do get comments, and sometimes my live videos have more viewers than actually gets displayed later on. I know that I've noticed that. That's funny. YouTube and Facebook, they play with the algorithms, and I know I had at least 20 or 30 people watching me the other day, and when I went back to review the analytics of it, it said I had 3. I'm like, no friggin' way, okay? Because I had like 5 people, different people comment that day. I'm like, so how can only be 3 people view my video when 5 people commented live while I was talking? So yeah, that's things that we have to deal with behind the scenes. These in this social media space. That's the backroom analytics stuff. I want to talk more about big women. And because again, that was a conversation, and some of his friends pointed that out. Again, when he went after that girl, or that young lady rather, that he was dealing with, and I think it's a beautiful thing that what men want to see, and I told somebody this recently, what we want to see is cooperation. We want you to cooperate with us. Stop fighting against us. Stop being contentious with us. I use that word contentious a lot. And it's argumentative and it's quick to argue and debate, or you speak in a manner to cause argument and debate. You got to stop doing that, people, sisters, brothers. You got to stop doing that. Because what did you win? What did you win? And Kevin asked, that was one of the last shows he did, where he was talking to the girl who had previously been on, and she wanted to leave her husband for a previous man who she said was high value. She wanted to get that man back and leave her current husband. Well, I mean, based on her description of her current husband, he was pretty high value him damn self. But he was older, and she didn't like that, and you know, that gets into a whole nother conversation. But like I posted recently about a month ago, y'all want us to be Superman, a porn star, rich. Y'all want all of these things all in one, and you can't have it. That's what Kevin told you. Society has lied to you and told you you can have everything you want. You can't. You got to give up some things, some of them wants, some of them unrealistic wants, and get realistic. And so anyway, the girl called back in, and he asked her, like, I remember you, and so what happened? What did your husband see the last video? Yeah, he didn't like it. He felt I did. He thought I disrespected him, which she did. And he talked to her, and basically the essence of that call, she still ain't do no work. She still didn't do any work to improve her situation. And she's married. You already got it. You won. But just fix your issues. Be cooperative. For you lose this man, you got to. Because we've seen that too much. Y'all wish list is too long. Y'all got this long Amazon list, wish list of things you want. Can you get it? Is what he would ask you. And for most of y'all, the answer is no. Because what you want is just so unrealistic. And that's what Sister Shahara Ali said a couple of weeks ago. What you want is just so unrealistic. That's what she's been telling y'all for 30 years. What's wrong with an average man? You're an average woman, he's an average man. Get together and build a life together. A lot of times, and this wasn't in my notes, but I was thinking about this. I meant to put it in my notes. A lot of times, y'all, um, you're so unrealistic, and y'all say, I'm chasing the bag, and I want ambition, and this and that, blah blah blah. That's just all deflections on what you use to. You're running into a wall, and that wall is telling you what you've been wanting is unrealistic. And instead of facing the reality of that, you want to make excuses. And then you say, oh, he ain't ambitious enough. It's always him. He the problem. Somebody else is the problem. Sign language, shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right, and or victim. That's what V put on it. Gotta put that V in it. And or victim. There's always somebody else did something. Usually that's a man, but even when it's two women, you want to play victim when y'all going against each other. We see that playing out on TV right now with Johnny Depp and his wife. his ex-wife, or whatever the hell she is. She's playing victim, and everybody knows she's lying. But she's been used to playing victim so long. This is why I ended up watching last night. I ended up watching Rosewood, because we saw that play out on Rosewood with Ving Rhames, right? The white girl was screwing everybody. She was doing this, doing that, cheating on her husband. And then when she got embarrassed and the man treated her like shit, she got in her feelings. And it was a nigga. And she knew that if I blame it on a black man, that's going to give me the most sympathy. And that led to them killing all of them black people and burning down Rosewood. True story. That happened. Wasn't just a movie. We also saw that in The Help. The girl who was the antagonist to Skeeter, her friend that was a nasty white girl that's always caused trouble, she always wanted to play victim. And then when she painted herself into the corner where she couldn't paint herself a victim, because if she played the victim role too far, she would be telling on herself and admitting to everybody that she ate the shit pie, mini shit pie. So she couldn't do that. She was painted into a corner. But that victim mentality is always there. We've seen this played out over and over and over. Even in The Color Purple, Mister wasn't a total monster, because he could have just threw them letters away and burnt them up. She would have never found them letters, right? And at the end, he had remorse and regret. And he repented at the end of that movie. But nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about he's put his money up to bring her family home from Africa and reunite her with her sister. He didn't have to do that, but he did it. He repented. Mr. Repented. Nobody talks about that ending of that movie. We always want to play victim and blame the black man. It doesn't matter what you thought of Kevin Samuels. People have admitted on their own. This man helped me. I found my husband. I found my wife. I found my fiance. He saved my marriage. I went back to my wife. I went back over and over and over again. The testimonials have come in. But these other people that y'all claim to like so much, that don't care about y'all, the Derek Jacksons, telling y'all one thing while he out here cheating on his wife and embarrassing his wife, treating her like she was hired help at the event that he had put up. I think it was down there in Texas a couple of years ago. Y'all love them. Men who talk buttery smooth and smooth as oil. But men who tell you the truth, the Obsidians, the V. Ben Israels, the Kevin Samuels, the Dennis Sperlins, the Donovan Sharps, to some degree the O'Shea Du Jacksons, the T. Hassan Johnsons, the Sheep's Clothing. I mean, there's a few of these. And there's many lead attorneys. There's a lot of these men. I don't even follow all of them, but I hear people giving testimonials. Overall, a lot of these men. Y'all ran out and bought Steve Harvey's book because he told you what you wanted to hear. Nobody said, well, Steve Harvey been divorced and he had problems with his marriage. No, nobody said that about Steve because you wanted to hear, you liked what he was saying to you. You liked it. I don't like Steve Harvey, Tony. Nobody say none of that because he was saying what you wanted to hear. I'm saying, and a lot of other people are saying, hey, we're screaming at you. You about to walk into a ditch. Get out the way. Don't go that way. That's what we're saying. And the evidence supports what we're saying. I just shared a video of a young lady She's 40 years old. She was sharing her remorse, and I wish somebody had told me these things earlier. I wouldn't be 40 and lonely and alone. And I got a house, I got a car, but I'm alone. Wish somebody had told me. She was down there in tears, and I think she was a pretty woman. I don't think that woman was by no means ugly at all. She was a nice looking lady. And let me go off on a tangent on that. Just because you're not a 10 or 8, 9, or 10 doesn't mean you're ugly. Again, y'all always go to these extremes. The average black woman is attractive. Hell, you got 2s and 3s who are attractive. It's very rare that you meet somebody who is just butt ugly. But that don't mean you all 10s on the attractiveness scale. And that don't even matter because a man will go down in attractiveness. Kevin said this to you many times. Will go down in attractiveness to go up in femininity, in cooperation, in cooperativeness, in submissiveness. A man will go up in those things and go down in looks to get that woman. That's what Kevin was doing. He was living what he preached. And that's proof of the woman that y'all claim was this fat bitch. She lost weight. She was doing the work. That's all we want to see. You could be a 200-pound woman, right? 5'2", 200 pounds, right? And the BMI is saying you should be 120 pounds. Is that what black men are saying? No. What we're saying is we want to see you healthy and we want to see you put in the work. So if you're 5'2", 200-pound woman and you put in some work and you lose 30, 40 pounds, let's say you lose 40 pounds, now you're 160. We can work with you on that. We can work with you on that. Even though the BMI says you're still 40 pounds overweight, but black men are looking at it a different way. We tend to like thicker women or bigger women anyway. But we don't want no linebackers, is what we're saying. So in most cases, it's your stomachs, ladies. Let's be real about it. It's y'all stomachs. Y'all got fat ass stomachs. Don't give me, oh, it's my hips, it's my booty, it's my titties. No, it's your big ass stomach. So you 200 pounds, it ain't your titties, it ain't your ass. We don't want you to lose those things, no way. But drop 60 pounds, drop 40 to 60 pounds off that stomach, your body, whoa, you gonna look good. At that weight, even though BMI is saying you're still 40 pounds overweight, you're gonna look good. If you drop that weight, and everybody's gonna give you the kudos. Everybody gonna give you your flowers and say, damn girl, how you doing? What you been doing? Oh, I just been walking every day. I'm eating a little better. I'm eating better cooked food and I'm eating out less and I'm just walking. I walk, I walk around the block, every morning before I go to work or every day I come home, I walk 7 days a week or 5 days a week. I just walk. I'm putting in the work. It ain't necessarily got to be you going in the gym and spending money. A lot of y'all just need to walk because you're lazy. You don't do nothing. You go to work and you come home. That's it. And in today's world, a lot of y'all ain't even going to work. You're working from home. So you're at work at home and you get off and eat, you sleep, and you repeat. A lot of y'all, this ain't a knock on you. I'm telling this because I love you. Just walk. You pretty in the face, you cute in the face. The man want to get with you, but I need to see you put some skin in the game. Is what the man was saying. So that's what Kevin got with. The girl put some skin in the game. All right, and that her cooperation level went up. Her cooperation shot up. And Kevin told his friend Dennis Sperling, I think I want to be with this woman. This is who I need in my life. She was a nurse. Her better than anybody knows she needs to get her weight under control. She put in the work. We ain't looking for perfection, ladies. We just looking, show us you got some work. And that goes back to what I said earlier about ranking men. Show me I'm worth it. What are you going to do for me? And I asked somebody that once. You're telling me I'm better man than your last man. Okay. And I'm doing things for you that no man has ever done for you in your life. Okay. I don't have an ego, so none of that phases me. I go by results. Okay. Let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 7 is not an option. What number do you rank that man? Oh, he's a 3. Okay. What number do you rank me? You're a 6. I agree with that. Cool. I'm a little bit above average. Cool. So you're telling me, but what you told me, because I let them paint themselves into a corner, I'm twice as good as the last man you was with. And you did all of these things for him. I did this, I kicked out money, I did this, I mean, none of these things you've done for me ever. What have you done for me that you haven't done specifically for me? Not that you benefit from too, but specifically for me. What have you done specifically for me that you also didn't do for that man or for a previous man? Crickets. How are you showing me that you appreciate me? Because men go by results. We go by actions. What have you done? See, that's another version of that. What do you bring to the table? That women hate that. What you mean what I bring to the table? I got a job, I got a car, I do this, I do that, I got a house. Well, congratulations, you're an adult. You don't do none of those things for me. Whether I was here or not, in your life or not, you would have to do those things too. So what are you doing specifically for me? And what do you, I don't know how vulgar I want to get tonight. I just thought of a scenario. I tried to talk to a young lady, she was older than me. She's about 49. Or she would be 49 today. So she's 3 years older than me because I'll be 46 this year. Um, wasn't from North Carolina, from Midwest. I ain't gonna get too specific, but from the Midwest. She had been divorced previously. She had 2 kids, both of which are in high school. First she tried to hit me. I thought she was very pretty for her age. Um, she didn't look her age. And that's an attractive thing in and of itself. I meet a woman who's almost 50 or late 40s, and she looked like she in her 30s. To me, that's better than a woman who's pretty in her 30s. That's just me. Um, so she was cute, nice shape, nice, very nice. Um, Good personality, but you gotta start peeling them layers back. And so we gonna check your resume, right? So I started checking the resume, and well, why you and your husband get divorced? Well, he was too bitchy. Excuse me? What do you mean? He was too bitchy. Come on, y'all. Ain't nobody jumped on here with me, man. Get in the box with me. He was too bitchy. Go over to YouTube. Click the link. Jump on here with me. Let's talk about whatever. She said he was too bitchy. I don't know what that means. That doesn't mean anything to me. Be specific. What did he do? What did he not do? Couldn't really answer those questions. You were married to this man for a decade, 10 years, 11 years actually. On what year did he become too bitchy? Was it year 1 or was it year 10? Couldn't answer that question. So basically, what I'm hearing behind the scenes, I'm reading between the lines rather, you didn't like him telling you something. And now you up in your career a little bit, you're making a little bit more money than you did 10 years ago, or 10, when you first got married, and your head got big. And you thought you could talk to that man any kind of way. And he complained about it and you didn't like it. And you thought you was too good for him. No, 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 that's that it. Yes, it is. That's exactly it. Were you making the kind of money that you make now? Then no. Exactly. Your kid's a little bit more self-sufficient, so you don't need daycare. They're in high school. So your financial situation changed, and that affected how you saw your husband. You put up with him when you needed him, but financially. But when you got to the point where you thought you didn't need him anymore, now he's too bitchy. I said, did he abuse you? No, no, he never put his hands on me. Did he cheat on you? No, hell no. He loved me to death. He never cheated on me. Was he messing up the money? No, no, he made good money. We were doing good. So you just, because your husband was too bitchy, you broke up with your husband and divorced your husband and moved your kids cross country, 1,000 miles away from their father in the prime of their lives in their high school years when they need their father because he was too bitchy. Well, I like to go out to dance, and he ain't like the fact that I was going out to the bars and stuff. Now, from my experience with this woman, she hang out at bars about minimum 3 times a week. I would have a problem with that too. We got 2 kids. We try to build this life together. We're middle age. Ain't no middle aged woman, in my opinion, married, need to be hanging out in bars because you like to dance. You want to dance? Turn on the music at home and shake your ass all you want at home. Or we can go out once a week together and go dancing if that's what you want to do. Let's work it out. But you just going to the bar 3, 4 times a week under the guys that you like to dance is bullshit. That's I want what I want when I want it. And be damned who else it affects. What about your children? Forget the man. How does that affect their children? Your children, they're getting taken away from their father because you thought he was too bitchy. And she had a son and a daughter in high school. How's that affecting them? She didn't even think about it. What they doing? I my son on the basketball team and this and that. It's not what I asked you. I don't even. My kids ain't never even told me they miss their daddy. I wouldn't either if you got a certain attitude. I wouldn't even bring up my father around you if that's one of the things that triggers you. And your kids know you. They know your triggers. So why would they bring it up around you? Why would your kids say, "Mom, you made a mistake. We're not better off since we left Dad. It's not good for us." And you're going out even more. Now you're going out partying 5 days a week instead of 3. Her response to me, and this was very rude, offensive, and nasty. See, I return energy quickly. And well, if you all of that, we all of these women that you should be with. Whoa, wait a minute. Well, this ain't even about me, first of all. But second of all, I like you. And I'm trying to be sincere with you. But make no mistake. Don't think because I'm home and I don't run the streets that I can't get women. Don't make that mistake. I choose to deal with the women. And my sister's listening. She probably in the comments, right? She might be listening right now. She can verify what I'm saying. It's true. I'm going to get my dick sucked right now, lady. I'm going to get pussy right now. If that's what I wanted. That's not what I want. I'm a grown ass man. I want more than that. I can get my dick sucked every night of the week by a different woman if I wanted to. That is not what I want. So that's why I'm not doing it. But don't think because I'm not doing it, it can't happen. And that's what Kevin tried to teach y'all about men with options. It ain't just high value men who have options. Men of value, period, have options. Even low value men have options. So make no mistake. My sister can tell you. We've been sitting in the house Plenty of times, some chick called me trying to throw pussy at me, trying to get me to come over to her house. Plenty of times, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. Because that ain't what I wanted. Y'all better get your minds right. And it's offensive. How dare you say that to me? When all I'm doing is asking you questions about your situation because you painted yourself into a corner. Now the ad hominems come out and the disrespect comes out and the sign language, the shame, insults, and guilt that need to be right. Stop. Still ain't got no man. Years later, still ain't got no man. Still ain't with her husband. She gave up the house to live in an apartment 1,000 miles away. So where did you get better? How did you improve your situation? How are you living your best life? Because you can run up in a bar at damn near 50 years old. You cute, but the average man ain't looking to build no life with you. You're a fun girl at this point, especially if they hear what you said. The way you talked about the man that you swore to spend your life with. They hear that, what you saying about him and what you did to him. Men ain't gonna take you seriously. I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. But most men ain't gonna do that. They gonna be like, yeah, you look good, I'm gonna fuck you, I'm gonna smash you, I'm gonna linger around long enough to get what I want from you, and then I'm out. Ain't nobody 50-year-old women, I don't care what they look like, with 2 children in high school, ain't ain't prom on the market. I'm not saying you can't find men who will want to sleep with you, women, ladies, lovely ladies, as Obsidian calls y'all. But are you going to find a high value man who makes hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s a year who wants to move into this scenario with you? With your attitude, unlikely. Is it possible? Sure, anything's possible. It's highly unlikely. Now, let's move on down the chain. Are you going to find an average man who wants to put up with that? No. And this is where me and Kevin uh, have some divergence because he focused too much on a high value man. A 4 or 5 or a 6 ain't going to put up with that shit either. So a man that's looking at a 50-year-old woman is going to be right around my age, 40s. Men like that, if they don't already have kids, they want kids. They want a legacy. Okay, they don't want to be stepfathers of teenagers. Teenage girls at 16 years old are rough to deal with. Trust me. They ain't easy to deal with. So a man that's voluntarily signing up to that, for what? You better be high on the cooperation list. But you've already shown you have a history of being uncooperative. You couldn't even cooperate with the man you swore to spend your life with, the father of your 2 children. You couldn't even be respectful to him. Was she ratchet? No, she was not a ratchet woman. She was a professional woman, had a decent job, made decent money, very nice looking woman. She had above average looks for her age. For her age. And I run into that's not uncommon for black women. I run into black women all the time around that age. And some of y'all look like you're 30 years old. You're gorgeous women. You're actually more pretty now than you were when you were 30 because you've maintained it for so long. But then when you open up your mouth, you got these 20-year-old ideologies. And that's a turnoff. And who wants to chase behind a woman that's in the bar 5 times a week? How you gonna build a relationship? She already proven she ain't gonna change that. That's what she wants to do. She ain't gonna change that. She ain't changing for her husband. This man who uh, he didn't make $100,000 a year, but he made over $75,000 a year in the Midwest, which is damn near equivalent to 100 in some states. He never abused her. He was very nice. He was a nice looking man. I saw a picture of him. He was a nice looking guy. Never abused her, never cheated on her, loved her to death. He wasn't good enough. So men look at that. Coming behind you, what am I supposed to do? So if I'm going to deal with you, all you men are going to look at it like, Yeah, you're pretty much just gonna be the fun chick. So I'm gonna sit around long enough to smash you. I may keep you on rotation if the sex is worth it. If it's above average sex, I may keep you in the rotation and smash you regularly. But marry you, ain't too many men looking to marry women like that. And this is what Kevin was trying to communicate to y'all. You got to make changes. And she wanted to be married again. She claimed she wanted to be married again, and she tried to give this whole colorism argument and men down here in North Carolina, they don't like dark skinned women. What? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Nah, they just like high yellow women, and that's not true. And these men in Charlotte, first of all, she didn't even live in Charlotte. So first of all, you're judging Charlotte based on your anecdotal experience, and you don't live in Charlotte, and you don't spend no time in Charlotte. You live on the outskirts of Charlotte. That's not Charlotte. And hell, my family is full of light skinned women. My mama, my aunts, my cousins, my sisters, most of them, they light skinned, high yellow. I talk to women all the time who light skinned. They ain't like, oh, I got an influx of men and I got some advantage that dark skinned women don't have. That's absurd. Ain't nobody jumping in the box with me. How many likes? I mean, I got 2 viewers. Come on, viewers. Let's just jump on here. You ain't got to stay on with me. Jump on me. Let's just make sure the link works. Say hi, V. Hey, V. Ain't that what y'all started? That Hey, V stuff? I didn't even make that up. Somebody thought I made that up. One of my followers, my subscribers, made up the Hey, V when people would, send me those messages. And I just, I forget who it was. It was a few years back, but I just started using Hey, V as the what I call that segment of my when I responded to those questions people would um but yeah, somebody jump on here with me. I can't just keep rambling and talking about myself. I don't like doing that. I don't like doing it. Unless y'all gonna pay me. Y'all want to pay me? Send me some cash app and I keep talking. I don't like talking for free. But somebody get in to jump in the box with me. Go over to YouTube. The link is pinned in the comments. And again, you don't have to go live where I see your face. You can turn your camera off. I just need to make sure your audio is good. We'll come on here and we'll try to get this thing going. And maybe there's something that y'all are seeing or thinking that I haven't really talked about. We can talk about it or share your opinion. But so you got two kinds of single men that are above 40. Let's talk about 40-plus-year-old men. Two kinds of men for the most part. You got men with children and men without children. And men typically want to further their legacy. And so men who don't have children that typically want to date or get with younger women who are still at child rearing age. Okay. And those are the type of, if you're a woman, that's what you're looking for, the type of man you're looking for, uh, wants to still have children, you need to know what men want. And that should be a first conversation. Forget date. That should be a first conversation question. Hey, do you have children? Oh, okay. No. Are you looking to have children? Yeah, well, that's probably not gonna work out for me. Because I'm done having children. I'm 45 plus or whatever, I ain't having children no more. Or I've already had my children. Maybe a conscious effort. You don't want to be pregnant at 45, I've already or 40 plus. I've already had my children. I did that already, you know. And there are men who are fine with that. I'm one of those men. I'll be 46 this year in August. I have 4 children and I have a grandchild. My oldest child is 22 years old. That's Dream. Mr. Dream is 22 for those of y'all who know my children. Dream is 22. I I'm not out here looking to get nobody pregnant. That ain't what I'm looking for. Now, if I happen to get in a relationship in the future with a woman who can still rear children under, typically under 40 is what we usually say, but if I just happen to, and I happen in, I happen in relationships with women who were 10, 15 years younger than me. It's very common. It happens for men my age. Um, Even some of them women. I was dealing with a girl who was 31 one time, and I wasn't 45, obviously. Just a few years back. I was plus 40 though. So I was I was like 11 years older than her at the time, and she had 3 children. One of my first questions, are you looking to have more children? She was like, yeah, I would like to have more children. Okay. She asked me, well, how about you? You already got 4. Well, I love children. At one point when I was a young man, I wanted to populate the earth. Of course, I'm an older man now. I don't have them same thoughts, but if I get with a woman that I want to spend a lifetime with, and she wants to still have children, I'm up to have a child under that circumstance. But am I out here running around looking for 30-year-old women that I can get pregnant? No, that ain't what I'm doing. But if I were, that would exclude 40 plus year old women. I meet older women too that are 40 plus that don't have children. And or they already have children. Well, I already got children, so I don't need no more. I got 2 boys, 2 girls, and a granddaughter. I don't. I have nothing I'm trying to prove to nobody. Um, I don't mind being a stepfather. Um, it really doesn't matter the age of a child. Younger is better. Below 18 is better for me because that means I have something to offer that child. Um, because if I come into a relationship with a woman, 40 plus year old woman who has a child who's under 18, I have something to offer that child. Um, Again, I had a stepfather. Stepfathers oftentimes, and I said this to my stepfather yesterday, stepfathers come into the game knowing the situation. If you're listening to me right now, please forgive me. My other camera just died. I don't know what happened. It was fully charged. I had to switch to my backup camera. So just give me a minute. Let me get right real quick. I'm sorry, but I'm about to switch things up so that way I could keep it going. Wow, I don't know what happened, but don't know what happened. Let me switch my tripod out. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see if I can fix this on the fly real quick. Um, there I go. Wait a minute. I hate this tripod. Okay. All right. So I hope y'all can still hear me. I may sound slightly different because I'm not using the mic. It was attached to the other camera. Don't know what happened. Don't know what happened. Ain't no way this other one should have been dead because that sucker was fully charged before I started. Um, let's see. That's what happened. It died. I guess the battery. Well, that's an old phone, so that's why I gotta upgrade stuff, y'all. I don't know how long I was like that. Forgive me. I'm not gonna repeat that long ass story I just finished telling because I don't know where y'all dropped off at, but I think it was a couple of minutes. So thank you for staying if you're still here. Nothing Kevin Samuels said was etched in stone, and sometimes y'all ladies like to do this. Again, it's one way or the other. It ain't no gray areas, and I was talking about myself, being a middle-aged man, 45. I have no need to procreate no more. I've done it 4 times. I've done it. Got a grandchild. I don't have to do that. And but there are men out here because remember, 50% of men, 51% of men are single and childless. Remember that. So there are men out here who want children. They want to further their legacy. And those men typically aren't going to want to get with older women. They're gonna go towards the younger women. Men who have children already, we don't really want to be bothered with the younger women like that. That ain't our interest. It really just depends on what it is that man is looking for. And again, I've met women who were my age. They had one girl had 3 sons, and all these dudes is in their 20s. One was almost 30, and they all lived with her. That ain't no scenario I want to get involved with. I'm coming over to see you, and I got 3 grown men looking in my face. Oh no. Where you going, Marty? Write their name on the orange juice and shit. Nah, no thank you. Nah, that ain't what I. That ain't that scenario. So everybody's situation is different, and Kevin was offering broad generalizations. He wasn't, and that's why he would tell women, "Your situation is unique. You need to talk to me off camera, book a session." But nobody wanted to pay. All these high value women who was making all this money was too cheap to pay them to get instructions on a specific situation. They didn't want to put the work in. And that's all we want to see. We want to see the cooperation. And are you willing? Because, see, understand something, ladies. If a man likes you and he's interested in you. I ain't talking about men who just want to fuck you. Let's forget that. A man who wants to have some similitude of a relationship with you. That man understands at some point he may be required to die for you. It's that serious. That's a possibility. Y'all like to talk about possibilities. That's always a possibility in life. A man has to be ready to die for a woman or her child. And the only thing we're asking y'all to do is listen to us. Be respectful. Be cooperative. And some of y'all act like us saying that, hey, smile at a black man is so fucking offensive. But I got to be ready to die for you. And you can't just cooperate with me. Just listen to me. That's what men are saying. The man didn't die alone. He died with a woman that he had found, a woman that he wanted to get married again. Even though he had 2 divorces, he wanted to get married again. And just because you get a divorce doesn't mean you're a failure. You don't know what you're talking about. I beg to differ. I'm a divorcee. I got more knowledge about marriage than most people. I did it for 20 years. It didn't work out for whatever reason. It ain't the point who fought, who did what. It don't matter. I learned some things from that shit, okay? That can help me in a future relationship. Things about myself, things about other women. I've learned some things. Just because you're in a marriage doesn't mean it's a success. There's a lot of people in existing marriages right now that haven't ended yet, and those marriages are failures. Nobody can say they believe Will Smith's marriage is a success because he ain't divorced yet. And most people would be happy to see him leave Jada. Ain't that funny? Because we know Jada ain't good for him. Jada ain't good for them kids either. It ain't just him, it's the kids. Right? So just because your marriage is ongoing doesn't mean it's a success. And just because you had a quote-unquote failure and your marriage ended in a divorce doesn't mean you're a failure or you don't have anything to offer. If we applied that logic across the board to other things, y'all would see how stupid you sound. Oh, because I had a car accident, I ain't never going to drive again. Oh, my car got a flat tire, I ain't never buying no more tires on my cars again. I had a bad experience, so I don't know what I'm doing. You ain't qualified to drive a car. Your mechanic got into a car accident, so he ain't qualified to fix cars no more because he had an accident. I mean, just y'all say some of the stupidest things. Did you not learn how to walk by falling a few times? So now you ain't qualified to teach somebody else how to walk? Because you fell when you was a kid or at some point in the past? Come on. I'm a grown man. I still fall every now and then. I'm still goofy. That don't mean I don't know how to walk and run. That don't mean I can't teach my kids how to walk and run effectively because I fell. Stop applying stupid logic, people. It ain't no kind of logic. It's irrational and vague. A lot of times divorced men, they leave their first wives and get with the second wife and stay with them for 50 years. Because they either figured out her mistake or his mistake or a combination of it. In my lifetime, my father's father was never married to my grandmother. Never. He was married to another woman for like 50, 60 years. So was he the problem or was my grandmother the problem? I don't know. I don't know the whole story. But what I do know is that man, he was about being married. He knew something about a marriage. He did it for 50 years. Had kids, had a happy wife. He died happy. His wife was happy, had good things to say about him. So stop applying that foolish logic as if you made a mistake, as if some of you didn't make a bunch of mistakes. You didn't learn from them. And you can't go on and get another chance, you know? And I speak to people about my divorce all the time as far as, people ask me, well, you want to get married again? Yeah, I do. Because I still believe in love at first sight and chemistry and Tweety birds. And I believe in all of that stuff. I don't want to live in a world where that doesn't exist. I believe in that. It's maybe vague and irrational. I still believe in it because I've seen it. I've seen it happen. People find each other at different stages in their life and different ages and things. So I believe that that's still out there. I have a high probability, and I ain't just saying it's possible. I got examples, high probability examples that I could point to where these things have happened. We'll see. I just want, and I'm being frank with y'all, but I want a woman to cooperate. That's one of the number one things I want personally. Speak cooperatively. Don't fight me every step of the way. I'm going to say stuff you don't like. I'm going to say stuff that's going to piss you off. It doesn't mean I ain't got your best interest at heart. And it doesn't mean I'm not telling you something that's good for us both. That could benefit us both. That could benefit your child. We're supposed to think differently. We're wired differently. We have different life experiences, different perspectives. There's going to be some disagreement. Disagreement is not a bad thing. I personally would be scared of the person that don't disagree with you on nothing. The people that's always yes man and everything. I'd be scared of them. But a man who got the confidence to tell you, hey, I don't agree with you, and I don't care if you ain't going to give me no coochie, I'm still going to tell you what's good for you. See, some men, they won't tell you what they really think because they scared you're going to not give them the coochie. Let's be real. I've been telling y'all that for years. It's the man who don't care. You can't control me with coochie. I got 4 kids. I done seen a lot of coochie. Okay? You can't manipulate with me with that and control me with that. I'm going to tell you what I think one way or the other. You either going to give it to me or not. From day one, you already knew you was going to give it to me. So I don't play that game with you no way. You already knew you wasn't going to give it to me. Ain't shit I could say that's very little I could say that's going to change what your original thought was. I find this a man traffic. I'm going to sleep with him or I'm not. That's how women think for the most part. It ain't, I'm going to spend enough time around him and be his friend and get to know him. And then I'm going to magically give him some coochie. We already know the statistics tell us that's wrong. Because when y'all women put a man in the friend zone, 80% of the time he stays in the friend zone. So that means only 2 out of the 10 men ever get out of the friend zone. Hey, if you in the friend zone, I don't play that friend zone crap. I tell y'all up front, I ain't your friend. If I'm interested in you, I tell you flat out, I like you, I'm interested in you. Let's see what we can do. And I give you 100% from day one. I give it to you. I don't make you work for nothing. Here's what you're getting from me from day one. I don't play that. Oh, you got to build up to this level like you playing a video game, and when you cross these certain amount of points, you get upgraded to these privileges. And no, I believe in giving you my best from day one because that's the type of person I am. Not because I want something from you. I'm giving you my best because I want you to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So I want the best from you. I give you my best that I can give. I don't hold nothing back. Get rid of the game. We too old for them games. I might have worked in your 20s and 30s. We 40 plus. We ain't got time to be playing games and wasting 5 years with somebody, and we ain't got time for that. No, none. I'm starting to ramble now. I think I've covered most of my points. In my mouth getting dry too, and I'm not out of coke. I think I've covered most of my points. Of course, I'm always going to go back and review the video and damn, I meant to say this. I always do that. But I think most of the major points that I wanted to cover that was in my notes, I hit. We lost. Kevin Samuels was a tool. Okay. And you got a lot of different tools in your toolbox. I'm a tool. He's a tool. A lot of us men are tools. And you take tools out for certain situations. It ain't no such thing as one tool, universal tool that fits every situation. Sometimes you need a hammer. Sometimes you need a screwdriver. Sometimes you need a saw. Sometimes you need a drill. In other words, I hope y'all getting this metaphor. He was a tool. And ladies, I'm sad to say y'all have lost. We, as the quote unquote black community, have lost a valuable tool, whether you saw it right away or not. A lot of times, like I said, I tell y'all things and y'all don't get it right away, and y'all get it later on. Sometimes much later on, y'all come back and be like, you know what, V, you was right. I wish I had listened to you right away. I'm trying to save y'all right now. Listen to me. I'm telling you, you lost somebody who was on your side. That man wasn't against you. He was on your side. And he put a lot of work in because he loved the black community. He wanted better for y'all. He wanted better for your children. He wanted better for future generations. And we lost that. And you don't see that kind of quality man who put that kind of work in. A lot of these men, they run around beating their chest and play like they put work in. And as Kevin Samuels proved when he spoke to those men, you ain't what you think you are. Why should women want to do anything with you? You ain't doing no work. And they make us men who have done work look bad. Because y'all group us all into it saying, that's why I said ranking is important. Y'all been dealing with, your own statistics have proven it. Ones, twos, and threes is who y'all making majority of your babies with. Those are not quality men. Those are low value men. And when you get with a high quality man, if you just give it some time, you'll see what the difference is. You should see it right away. It's a different experience altogether. So I've been told by you lovely ladies that told me that. But I think I've covered everything. But we lost a valuable tool. I didn't know the man personally, but I connected with him personally on a personal level because I come from the same background of sales that he came from and high achieving. And I made a career at selling. I was a salesman. And that means more than somebody just trying to sell you something you don't want and don't need. That's not a salesman. Salesmen sell people what they need, and they're overall good for the community. The economy will stop running if salesmen disappear off the earth. I guarantee you the economy will shut down. And we see that in some places now. Some industries, some companies, they got rid of the salesmen and they're out of business. Radio Shack is out of business. I left them in the early 2000s and I told them what they were doing was wrong. They thought we were interchangeable and they could just put anybody in our positions and they didn't respect us. Now, there used to be a Radio Shack within 15 minutes of everybody in the country, for the most part. Now, there are no Radio Shacks. Radio Shack in the early 2000s was the #1 wireless retailer. If you bought a phone, 90% of the time you bought it from Radio Shack. And Best Buy existed. Walmart existed. Radio Shack was the #1 retailer in the early 2000s. Because Radio Shack was a place where you could go. Typically, it was managers that were men. They were black men typically. Or men, or older men, a little bit older than you, and you had questions, they could answer you and provide you some guidance. Hey, how do I do this? Or, hey, I'm having this problem with this. How do I fix that? And they can, especially single women. Always had single women in there because they didn't have a man at home. Hey, this thing is beeping all the time. Why does it keep beeping? Am I buying the right battery? What do I need to do? Because see, just having a battery in your smoke detector is only part of it. Does that battery have enough juice? So if you're buying cheap batteries, more than likely, you're going to keep replacing batteries every damn month. You need to buy a little more expensive battery, even though they're both square batteries, 9-volt batteries. Some of them have different amps. Anyway, so once a man explains that to you, now, man, here's the battery. It's a little bit more expensive. You need to buy this battery. Instead of it being $2 a piece, this one here is $5 a piece. Get a pack of these. This will last you all year. I guarantee you. And people was comfortable with that. Hey, I got somebody who knows something and can explain my problem to me. Hey, why is my cordless phone, the battery in the cordless phone keep going out? Yeah, well, man, because you got a 900 megahertz cordless phone. And a lot of frequencies operate on 900 megahertz. So they're constantly draining your battery. What you need to do is you need to upgrade to a 2.4 gigahertz or a 5.8, and that puts you in a higher frequency, and your battery won't get all that interference. Oh, really, really? Well, how much them phones cost? I got one right here for $20. Oh, it ain't that expensive. I thought you was gonna say $100. Now it's $20. I got some at 100, but you only need $20. Oh, okay. And they felt comfortable. And this man didn't try to sell me something I didn't need. He sold me exactly what I needed. And he gave me his card. And if I got a problem, he told me to call him. And plenty of people did. Old people would love to call you. Hey, uh, Mr. Van, I bought that phone from you. And I want to know, I saw in a commercial where you can have more than one phone in your house. Do y'all sell those kind of phones? Yes, ma'am, we do. Good, because I want to have one in my kitchen and one in my bedroom. Can you make that happen? Yeah, if you come on down here Saturday, I'll show you all your options you need. Those phones that you're talking about, they're going to start around $50 and go up. Okay, I'll see you Saturday. People like having that kind of salesmanship in their life. That's all I got, man. I got stories for your ass. I got stories. I'm tired of talking now. I'm getting hungry. I'm about to eat some leftovers. I made some Salisbury steak last night and some spinach and some rice and some black eyed peas. I'm about to pop them in the microwave and get busy. That's all I got, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share to me on YouTube. I'm phasing out Facebook, so get on YouTube so you don't miss my content. I'm gonna start some things on Instagram soon. And new things are coming down the line. We're building it as we go, people. Like, subscribe, share, donate. Holla at your boy. It's your boy.